Testing, testing. Alright, looks like the audio's good. Welcome everyone into a weekend Faction Wars tactical itch here, and today we have a quite an exciting. We're starting with an exciting matchup. Oh, this is gonna be so cursed. Oh, yep, Nurgle versus Nurgle mirror match, everyone. So what happened was, well, actually, oh, hold on. Is anyone here? I'm not seeing. I assume no one's here checking out the stream yet, so I might just do some self-promotion in other channels while waiting for the players to go to start their battles. Hello everyone, welcome, Tactical Itch here, and today we are going in with another Faction Wars, a weekly Faction Wars here. And yeah, this is gonna be a cursed first game of a Faction Wars. That's because we are starting with a Nurgle versus Nurgle matchup. The reason is, when we sometimes have duplicate factions, I don't necessarily ask the players to change their factions, but instead, I'll just pit them in a mirror match round 1. So, we have 2 Nurgle players today, and of course, that means we have we'll have a Nurgle mirror match. This is going to be a cursed and very sick matchup. And it's gonna be a hell of a grind. Oh shit, both sides going Tamerkin. Alright, looks like they have kind of a similar idea with a very... What the f... I don't think this Nurgle army on the left is even legal. Cause Frit rules have a minimum of 400 unit count. So yeah, I don't think the army on the left fulfills that 400 unit model count minimal requirement. Yeah, it's only 200. Hold on, let me just quickly message the players. Alright, we... Oh shit, did I remove... Yes, we removed the screen blocker. I would love to see what happens if both Tammys proc their on death ability next to each other. I guess that would be whoever procs first would die first, because... Wait, hold on. How long is their cannot die effect last? Shit. Tammy and their, Feast of the Maggot Lord. Duration cannot die for 7 seconds. Oh, okay, yeah, alright. So, okay. Chilachu, the player who doesn't have enough unit models, had to remake their army because of the lack of unit models. And yeah, Pasta La Vista will also have to change up their army as well because their units have already been revealed. But yeah, I think if both Tommies proc their on death ability, I don't think anything's gonna happen. Like both are gonna have their HP come back, but yeah. So Feast of the Megalords, right? 7 seconds duration, high damage per second. Nukes does like 2,000 damage, maybe. Yeah. On average, does 2,000 damage to their opponent. However, they cannot die, so both sides proc. So assuming they have roughly similar HP, one of the Tamerkin procs first, and then the other will die. But at the same time, will also proc the ability. I guess what happens is whoever procs first will be on a disadvantage because they are gonna. They're gonna have more HP for the other Tammy's Feast of the Magalord to counter proc and rip away their HP that healed up, while the one that procs later will have received less damage ticks because yeah, they will have a bit more damage eaten up by the HP. By the HP they still had remaining earlier, and 2, like, there might be like a second that there's just not a whole lot of HP for the damage to eat into, so like the damage is just gonna overflow. I have no idea, or maybe it might just freaking bug out and both sides just kind of like instant die. Because you might remember seeing like a battery play with the Tigerman DLC. From a few weeks earlier, where I was playing against Human Boy. Yes, Human Boy was using Tamerkin, and he bumped into the knee or ankle of Seitan the Watcher and just freaking died with 3,000 HP left. So I don't freaking know what's happening. Nobody knew. He just freaking died. So yeah, it just didn't make sense. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Both sides have a very similar idea. Both sides are going with Tamerkin the Megalord on that Toad Dragon. Now on Chilachu's side, we have a front line of Chaos Warriors of Nurgle here. Yes, this time he does meet that unit count. Both sides going for low model count armies here. Very elite and expensive. And yeah, Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, 3 of them with a Nurgling. I guess there's some change left over. Rotting Riders and the Barons of the Bog on the sides. There's a bit of mobility. Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle with Death on the Chaos War Altar. Nurgle War Altar for that heal. Yeah, both sides are gonna blob and grind. This is gonna be a sick matchup. Oh, well, a slightly different idea on the other side, I guess. No, we don't have the C2 healing blobs, but even then, this is still a very tanky blob of Plague Bearers. A front line of Plague Bearers with one of them, the Exalted Plague Bearers of 2 of the Exalted Plague Bearers actually. Plus 2 more Ploger units with their armor-piercing anti-infantry attacks. These are regular Plogers, so no anti-large, not the great weapon ones. And a leading army, another Tamerkin, the Megalord, with a Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, with Nurgle magic for Fleshy Abundance, and Blight Boil to nuke enemy blobs. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. Do they even have enough magic to make these spells pay back their worth? We shall see. In the skies, we have the Angels of Decay, a very interesting choice here, seeing that their opponent do not have any form of range attacks. Yeah, they're just gonna be able to sit in the skies and keep chucking out Dev's head and chipping away at the enemy's health. We shall see what happens. This is gonna be an interesting battle, and yeah. Alright, let's see what happens here. And yeah, let's wait and see. Alright, looks like one side is ready. Both sides are ready. Let's get this Nurgle mirror match going. It's gonna be a painful, painful toxic grind, I swear. But we shall see. Yeah. Both sides have their Tamarkin pretty kitted out. Yeah. Literally the same abilities. Just fully kitting out their Tamarkin on Toad Dragon. Nurgle's favorite son, the Black Cleaver, Rotting Host, Feast of the Megalord, Unspeakable Fountain. So that's just a spitting attack of the Toad Dragon. But yeah, the Angels of Decay, seeing that nobody really is threatening them, just moves up and try to chuck in Dev's Head. But a nice breath attack, actually, doing some pretty notable damage. And knocking out one of the models. Really nice. That's like one-fifth of their HP gone, but they are doing so much damage in return. Tamarkin, in contrast to the red Nurgle, the blue Nurgle do not have any form of active healing outside of army actives. So yeah, they just have to tank it and hopefully survive. Maybe even try Spirit Leeching or Fate of Buna. These Angels of Decay might be a way to go. But yeah, with the Barons of the Bog and infantry plowing in as well, they're doing some really good damage to the Plogers. The front lines have made contact, but these are Plague Bearers, so they're not exactly great at duking out in melee. But when the Plogers come in, things might be a bit different. Ooh, Devsec continues to nuke away the health of the blue Tamarkin. Nurgle's favorite son is trying to get some HP mitigation, get some damage mitigation, and Blight Boil right behind these Chaos Warriors of blue Nurgle. I wonder if they just decided not to. A lot of buffs. I forgot there is also Kask, the Befouled in here, nuking the melee stats of the red Tamarkin. Down to 12 melee defense, taking a lot of damage in melee from the blue Rotting Rider surrounding. Both sides, Tamarkin is getting low. Are we seeing a mutual Feast of the Megalord proc? We shall see here. The blue Tamarkin is getting very weak right now, but Kask the Befouled is doing some really good work against the red Tamarkin, and also same goes for the Rotting Riders as well. Both of the blue elite cavalry are in the vicinity, just plowing in and trying to saturate onto red Tamarkin. The blue Tamarkin, move over to freaking red Tamarkin. You need to stick to an enemy character for your ability to work. Spirit Leech on to red Tamarkin. All right. Blue Tamarkin is moving in. Blue Tamarkin is getting there. Are we seeing a mutual Feast of the Megalord proc? Come on, stick to your enemy lord. Don't move away. You're gonna die and you're not gonna use the ability. No. I mean, to be fair, there are not gonna be a lot of deaths hit by the end of this, so it should be fine. Oh wait, no, he's going down. He's going down. One more volley, he's going down. Just go to your enemy's character. No, don't walk away like that. No, he dies. He didn't proc the Feast of the Megalord. No. Alright, so yeah, that was unfortunate. The blue Tamarkin moved away from the enemy character. Didn't proc his Undying and character damage ability. That was a shame, because that would have knocked out this Tamarkin as well and forced them to proc their ability and see a chain reaction of some sort, because we are seeing a bunch of characters. Kask is still in the vicinity and is very healthy. The Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle here can't really do much, and with his fleshy abundance at this point. Well, actually no, he can still heal the Tamarkin and the Megalord. But yeah, there was a fecundity to keep the red Nurgles alive, but yeah, the Kask is doing some really good work dueling against Tamarkin and really knocking him down, but the elite cavalry is getting low. Barons of the Bog is, as always, very tanky, so they're still hanging on, but the Plogers, what have you been doing? You guys are doing a lot weaker than I thought. The Chaos Altar it's pulling the weight here, keeping these elite cavalry alive. How much is the healing ability? Oh, only 40% charge. Damn, that is not quite enough. But yeah, the elite cavalry, the Rotting Riders have been doing some heavy lifting here. Kask definitely just duking it out against Tamarkin, almost knocking him out though. He needs to get out of here before this Tamarkin goes down. But at the same time, he needs to be around to kill off the Tamarkin. So that is indeed a true dilemma. Curse of the Slug, maybe Casey is trying to finish him, but at the same time, once Tamarkin goes down, he will bring down Case with him, doing nasty damage. Oh, it looks like Case is going for that killing blow. Is this gonna happen? Oh, are we seeing a Feast of Megalord? Spirit Leech onto the Chaos Saucer of Nurgle with healing magic. Oh, oh, Feast of the Megalord procced, but it's what? Yeah, must have. It's procced, but it didn't do anything to Case. Oh wait, no, Case is getting low. What? It didn't do much damage, honestly. Oh, it might did the damage to the Chaos Saucer of Nurgle instead. It might be a case. But anyways, this Tamarkin might just go down in the end. But the blue Nurgle, after losing their Lord and their infantry is not holding up in this grind, losing out to all these demonic units, they are gonna... yeah, the Plogers have been doing some really decent trade into the armored infantry. And it is pretty much just Case and this self-healing Chaos Altar. The second Tamarkin also went down. The Rotting Riders have returned, but there's only one unit of tattered 5 models, so they can only do so much. I don't think they can bring this one back. Balance of power is indeed very much in favor of the red Nurgle army. And yeah, I think that is gonna be it. That is gonna be victory for the red Nurgle army with their healing coming into play. The Fleshy Abundance, I assume, really helped out the red Tamarkin survive into the late game here, and before being forced to proc that Feast of Maggot Lord. But yeah, it's a shame we don't see a chain reaction of Tamarkin on Tamarkin explosion on but that is still weekend faction wars 01 Saturdays 01 Nurgle. Oh shit. I'll change the files there. Oh shit. Unfortunately, I misclicked one of the misclicked a key, and then it just kicked us out into the army selection screen. Give me a second. I'll quickly save the replays and then jump back in and see if we can check out the army values. At the same time, let's see if round 1 is over, and then we will be playing round 2. Because right now we have a bye round in round 1. We have an odd number of players, so as usual, I just take a bye round in round 1, so everyone can jump straight into a battle instead of having someone randomly waiting for round 1. Yeah. And yeah, I think there is still some one game going right now. The Nurgle mirror match is like one of the 2 games left, and then the other is the Skaven mirror match. But yeah, that was a shame we didn't see a Tamarkin versus Tamarkin on death ability, but that is still a funny one. All right, yep, that dies. Looks like the healing grind is not enough to outmatch that hit point sponge. Hit point sponge plus armor piercing monstrous infantry combo. It's just a little bit too much for the Chaos Warriors. The armor piercing with great weapons are mostly wasted onto these unarmored but very meaty units of demonic plague bearers. So yeah, they have taken too much damage. The healing is not enough to sustain them, leaving the victory to the red Nurgle here. The Plogers did pretty decent, just grinding down the enemy infantry, while the Plague Bearers are mostly there to absorb enemy damage. Ooh, these Exalted Plague Bearers got some really good damage checking out Death's Head. I wonder if they were throwing at the Tamarkin or at the enemy infantry. But either ways, they did some really good job there. And same goes for the Angels of Decay. Man, they were just sitting there aiming down at the enemy Toad Dragon Tamarkin, just undisturbed at all. Like, I guess they eat one breath attack from the Toad Dragon, but that's honestly no big deal. They still have like 15 models and just keep chugging those devastating Death's Head missile into the enemy Tamarkin, just nuking, steadily whittle down his health there. And yeah, looks like we are, looks like round 1 is over, and we have been matched up against Drugash. Alright, yeah, very nice, very nice Nurgle matchup to both players here. I'm really glad we didn't see two grind blobs with healing spams. So that would have been a painful match. But this time, both sides are playing quite aggressively with an aggressive Lord Choice instead of the Mortis Engine heal blob. So yeah, this it's a very exciting one. It's a fun one to watch for sure. Alright, let's just join our opponent here. We are fighting against Drugash, who is a very good player, and they're going high elves. I am going tactical Familias today. Instead of, no longer Bretonia. I've been playing Bretonia in the last few 20s, so I want to switch things up a bit and go with Norska. Yeah, I will be going with a tactical... Ooh, Bearman with Familias. Let's see if this works better than before. Like, Bearman is a pretty, like, cost-efficient infantry, and we can maybe substitute, stack them up with Familiar Warriors and try and grind through the staunch line of spears, while the cavalry, we might just have to deal with it using more Familiars. I don't think Familiar Warriors great weapons are a good choice usually because their melee sets are honestly very mediocre. They need that bonus versus something to make it work, but yeah, usually it's just not worth it. I will bring a couple armored skin wolves and Wolfing the Wanderer with Warhorse, Seafang, Fighter Die Hunter of Champions, sort of Torgo. I don't think we need to duel. I don't think, let's just bring one and see what happens, and then, we will, take a couple Ice Wolves, and maybe take one Ice Wolves, and then, yeah, that might, oh, fuck, we don't have caster, damn it, shit, this is expensive, maybe I'll just get a regular Skin Wolves, honestly, 2 Armor Skin Wolves, 2 Familiar Warriors, Bearman... will bring us. Shit, I'll bring 4. Fuck it. I'll bring 4 Bearman and 3 Familiars. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's not bring Skin Wolves and just bring Kurgan Horsemen with great weapons and hope for the best here. Hopefully we can bait the enemy into getting charged by Kurgan Horsemen. I don't know if that's gonna work at all, but I'm just hoping it might work. And we need a caster of some sort. Let's do Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. Cut all that. Get that. And then we're out of money. Cool. Alright, cool. Yep. That is it for our army. Let's get this going. Yep. I am just gonna bring some Familiar spams. Hayseed. Yeah, I remember that one. That was great. Yeah, it was really funny. Although I do hope that it's not a frequent bug. I have no idea what caused that. I assume Human Boys might have reported it to CA, but I don't know. I don't use Tamerkin enough to notice anything. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really played much Total Warhammer outside of on tourneys like this. The game itself hasn't had much update recently, and like even the Tigerman update was quite limited, so I wasn't really too like motivated to like keep playing constantly. Instead, I've been just kind of like distracted by other games. Like you might have seen me making a couple of videos over the past few months about some random indie game demos I've played. They are pretty fun. The latest one I've made, the Tabletop Tavern, that is a pretty fun like Total War with Total War battle simulation format plus the roguelike format blend. So if you like roguelike, like just mixing and matching fun combos, like Slay the Spire, and you like Total War's like combat but can't be bothered with the empire building, that would be a pretty good like alternative for you to try out. Or you can try, or I've been playing some other like roguelike demos as well, so maybe I would make a new video about those as well. But other than that, like the last couple of weeks I've just been spending all my time on Sekiro, man, and getting my ass beat. Freaking hell, that game. Those bosses, man, they're tough. They're tough. Like it's not like I've not played Soulsborne before. I mean, I've played Elden Ring, which seems to be the most forgiving Soulsborne, but at the same time, there's freaking Melania right there, and it took me, I think it took me 8 hours to beat her. She was rough, man. So I was like, I think I'm fine. I think I can handle this. But then I realized there's no iframes in dodging in Sekiro. So yeah, that was a new experience for sure. Like I couldn't just dodge roll myself to safety. No, that would be too easy. Why would they allow that, right? And yeah, I need to actually learn how to parry properly, because like even if you block attacks, sometimes damage comes through with like fire damage, or sometimes like it will accumulate that fatigue or stance proc. So yeah, posture I think it is, and then screw you over. So that was fun, and yeah, I enjoy it, and new enemies coming out soon, so that's gonna be good news. Good luck to you too. Alright, looks like our opponent is ready, so fuck. I'm a bit rusty here, because I haven't played for a few weeks, and all my time has been on freaking Sekiro, man. But yeah, a new anime is coming out soonish, like in the next year or so. So I'm looking for, like, it's just in time for me to finish it, so like, I'm pretty much looking forward to. Oh shit! Oh no! Oh, they're kiting me! Oh! I am. Oh! It is a fucking kite army. Oh, fuck me. Oh, alright. We have to figure this one out. They just enough with 4. Oh shit. Alright. I don't even have I don't have freaking. Alright, we'll just have to pull our units back, and then oh, I wish I had my armor skin wolves. Dodge that. Dodge that. Let the familiars eat the damage. Alright. Alright, they're running away. This guy has to pull back. And I need to pull back my cavalry. Wait, where's the capture point? Oh fuck, I'm not even paying attention to where the capture point is. They're gonna breath attack me, maybe? Oh shit, that is a lot of damage coming from the... Oh, that's okay. That's a fire mage. That's fine. We can probably handle this. Ouch! That is a lot of damage to my caster. What the fuck? Alright, alright. Try to, it's just, they're getting close, so, let's just try and capture that. Right, he's back, come over! Block him up! Block him up! Alright, I kind of forgetting about my, wolf, so that's fine. Wolfric, I need you to be around there. Go ahead and capture them. This guy is going down. Wait, I'm losing my spell support at this point. I totally forgot about the Kurgan Horsemen, right? Alright, let's go and push them away. Push them. Nobody's touching my... Oh, caster is kind of safe here. Let's just make sure they're... Nobody's touching my caster yet. Premier Warriors come back and jump that. The bolt is useless at this point, so let's just sort of torgo this shit. And my caster came back, and we can just keep... Alright, let's bring them back. We have some more cavalry available. Bring them over, bring them over. Fuck, we lost one Familiar because a freaking Dragonborn charge. Well, or a Fireborn, you can call it that way. Whatever. Alright, we took an out. Alright, we are completely out of spell support now. Freaking Fireborn, man. Let's just pull back, pull back. We still have one. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. That hurts. Beat his ass. Alright, we can kill those silver helms and just keep chugging javelins over. And push our infantry into capturing the point. The dragon, the Fireborn is a bit of a problem. I don't, our caster is gone, so we don't have any, there's no Fate of Buna here. We still have one for me, and just keep piling on, I guess. And they still have 2 dragons in the skies. That is a bit of a problem. Oh, just jump them, I guess. Alright, right. Clear them out. Get some Familiars back. And our Familiars are gone. The caster is running all the way to the side. Alright. Let's just keep chasing and whittling them down. That is. Okay. They are running. They have run out of they have run out of skirmishing firepower, which I guess is a good news to me, but my skirmishing can only do so much, I feel like. Yep, casters completely ran off. Wolfric doesn't really have much to do here. I don't really have much to do at this point. Other than try and just kite out these Fireborn. Alright. Bring over those Familiars and infantry support. Just keep kiting, guys. Keep kiting. Alright, yeah, just keep kiting. I don't fucking know what to do at this point. I've got some dogs coming back. Bearman is not enjoying getting hit like that. And the breath attacks are a pain in the ass. Alright, go ahead and shoot that. Bring back those. Alright, alright. Do that. Do that. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving out of there. Don't let the burning head hit you like that. Fucking hell, that Frost Heart Phoenix just doesn't die! Alright, maybe bring in those cavalry to help? Alright, right. Let's just go and kill these freaking Fireborn. They are inundated with unit support, but a Burning Head would be the end of me right now, honestly. Alright, we are keeping those kite going. Wolverine is fighting for his life, but I don't know how long he can survive in there. Yeah, Burning Head is gonna end me. Right there. GG. That was a rough one. That was a rough one. I was not prepared for a fucking kite. But that was fun. Versus high elf. GG. Oh man, that was a tough kite. A very mobile army. We managed to kill off a bunch of their mobility, but very nicely Dragash held his Fireborn in reserve, and when I push up my monsters, a brilliant countercharge just nuked one of my familiars. The other two held on a little longer, but they just didn't have a lot of good targets to fight. Their best targets are always fighting infantry, but over here they are just constantly getting charged by monsters, charged by dragon princes with their anti-large armor piercing. They can shrug off all those skirmishing fire no problem, but the problem is the breath attacks and the anti-large Fireborn coming in, just really nuking them down and obliterating them upon charge. The Kurgan Horsemen, one of them did some really good damage. The other two not so much due to how fragile they are. We did some good damage overall, but we couldn't knock out any of these single entities, which is a big problem, and especially the Star Dragon here doing so much work with the nice burning heads thinning out my infantry support on the infantry side. So yeah, that is a rough fight. I was not prepared for a kite, and that was a kite. A very classic one as well. Damn. Alright, GG to Dragash, and we are moving on to round 3, unless there are still battles going on. Yeah, there are still battles going on, so I might just organize some of the any of the replay files I received, if there are any, and yeah, we'll be waiting for... Alright, give me a second. And yeah, if you are playing in the tourney, it would be great if you can also send over your replay files. I would love to cast them after the live battles and see what kind of fun shenanigans you guys are up to. We do have one replay coming in from a Skaven mirror match from Milky Way. Give me a second, I'm gonna go and cast that while we wait for round 3 to... Oh wait, there are only 2 battles left in round 3, so yeah, we'll probably just wait a bit. But yeah, maybe I need to play my cards a little bit better, especially like do a bit more scouting, information gathering before charging up my stuff. Because the main problem I had this battle was just wasn't checking what... the main problem with me playing games is just not checking out the enemy's army properly, and just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have a glance at them and kind of understand what they kind of roughly feels like without checking actually, oh, there's a Fireborn at the far back, and then I just get surprised despite it being like laid out in plain sight. So yeah, that's something I need to work on, is to scout better. And I got a suggestion to remove Peak Pass, maybe I shall try removing it for a while and see if if any players miss the map. Because it is a very wide map and you don't actually see all your opponent's army and in right at the first glance. So yeah, but like I guess it's also a bit problematic for artillery because the deployment zones are out of artillery range, so it can be a bit rough to reach each other's target for a firefight. But yeah, we shall see what happens. I'll have a think about it. But other than that, yeah, let's proceed with the 20. If the round 2 is over, nope, still going on. So yeah, all right. I might just cast one battle from the replays then. Although I don't think I've received any other replay file, so yeah. Skaven versus Skaven replay, and looks like both sides once again having similar ideas. Both sides going with a bunch of flayers. Excuse me. Doom Flayers, I think. If I remember correctly, their name. Haven't seen them for a while, so yeah. And also, freaking Skroak, man. Lost Skroak? Double Lost Skroak as well. Actually, I guess the contamination contact effect comes in really handy in the fight. So yeah, let's just jump in and check them out. For those of you who are not familiar with Skavens, all the Sensor Bearers have a contaminated leadership debuff, which is a -16 leadership debuff. It's huge, especially against Skavens who have a wobbly leadership. That can be a big difference between like holding and breaking, shattering the front line. So yeah, that contaminated oh, only -10, but still that is a huge difference regardless. Because Skavens, you can see they only have 50 leadership, even with the strength in numbers. Lord Nearby, flank secure. Base value 35. Imagine 1/3 of their leadership gone. So basically a charge comes in, and then you they start taking damage, so you'll start suffering from leadership debuffs, and then slap them with a -10 from the discourage. Immediately they'll break. So yeah, that will be huge in this matchup. For the green Skavens, we are seeing a line of Skaven Slaves and Skaven Slave Spears mixed in with Rat Ogres, backed up by multiple Doom Flayers and 2 Hellpit Abominations, big single entity monsters. Without artillery, these are extremely hard for Skavens to deal with in a Skaven Civil War, because one, they induce terror, 2, they have a very tanky status. Over 12,000 HP plus regeneration keeps them alive and makes them a very hard target to grind down, as Skavens do lack that kind of anti-large burst damage in melee. Yeah, other than that, nothing else, because the Hellpit Abominations, especially one of them is the thing, are extremely expensive. So yeah, they don't have much budget for anything else. On the other side, yeah, they can only afford the cheapest chaff, some monsters, and a few Doom Flayers after that. On the other side, for the Rat Skavens, they can afford a slightly higher quality front line, upgrading from Skaven Slaves to Clan Rats now. And multiple Clan Rat units as well with shields. I assume they were expecting a bit of missiles, but I don't think that's gonna matter here. Or at least they're just coming in with extra melee defense to keep units alive. Backing them up is a line of Red Ogres, four of them in fact, with multiple Doom Flayers, as well as a Morskataw's Hellion, one of the actual decent single entity fighters in the Skaven roster, and can actually do some pretty good work if against the right target. But against 2 Hellpit Abominations, that's gonna be a risky business. And 4 units of Wolf Rats with poison ready to pounce on the enemy backline. But the thing is, there are no soft backline for the Rat Skavens to disrupt, so that might be a problem here. Right, we are down to the last battle in round 2, so we might have to cut this casting short and go back to playing, but we'll see how far we can cast. Alright, Red Skaven versus Green Skaven. Looks like the Red Skaven is dropping. Oh, round 3 is starting, so I'm just gonna hop on over. We'll come back to this battle later. Oh, fuck. Grand Cafe. I guess we're gonna expect some Tiger Warriors, maybe? Alright, so we are gonna go up against Grand Cafe here. That is gonna be risky business with the artillery, but I'm still gonna bring Familiar because why the fuck not? I really enjoy bringing up Familiar warriors for some reason. Alright, let me just set up a lobby for my opponent first, and then yeah, we shall see what happens. It's funny how we move from Wednesday Faction Wars to Weekend Faction Wars, and it's still a WFW. So yep, we don't have to change. We don't have to change the name for the lobby at all. We are on Pillar of Bone. All right, cool. That is not a bad map for us. We can definitely we have a chance to make this work, basically. Because should I pull a funny one here? You know what? Maybe not. Never mind. Was thinking of doing a mass Vanguard deployment build, but yeah, I think I'm just Alright, what if I do this and then Malls of Savagery, where are you at? There you have Hide Forest. Pillar of Bone is a very narrow map, so it is possible to do some random Vanguard shenanigans. The thing is, there's also not a whole lot of space for maneuvering, so that might be a bit of a problem. I don't know. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of yeah, we don't have a whole lot of should I bring one of these? We got Femuse who can tank missiles, and then just bring Rolfric, man, I guess. I don't want to bring Sael the Faithless, because the Stormtooth is a bit nasty. Bro, die Hunter of Champions. I'll just bring Hunter of Champions Seafang. And Pharaoh die Sword of Sogol, we'll skip that. We don't really need that per se. Skip the artillery. I want to bring Dread Mode, but I also banned it, so because of how ridiculous it is. So yeah, there's no. I want to, but I can't bring it. Damn it. Yeah. I will bring Worshippers of the Crow. Actually, they're not really that useful here. I'll skip them. Let's just bring one Brutes of the Hound, because why not? And then bring in a caster with lore. Oh, please tell me they're not gonna try and kite me or anything. All right, let's just do that. Burning Head, Fireball. You know what, I'll just bring Spirit Legion, Fate of Buna. Hopefully we don't get jumped by single entities like last time. We don't have much money left. So once again, a couple Kurgan horsemen, not exactly the greatest choice, but it's a funny one. If we can just get jump on the enemy mobility, that would be nice. And then just get a bunch of North Cousin Warhounds. Hopefully our Famirs can break through. If not, we're fucked. Alright. Yeah, this is a bit of a cursed battle. I'm actually thinking of just bringing. Should I bring Familiar Noble? Like, it is a pretty. Effect range, it is a pretty good melee buff actually. Favored by the Matriarch. Can use of HP over half, and then ooh, Shrouding Miss. Oh, we also don't have money for our caster, so we just cut that. And then bring a regular. No, that is still not enough. We just bring a caster here and cut out the Familiar Noble and cut out a bunch of casting voices. Just bring him on foot, I guess, because we don't have much money left. Spirit Leech, Fate of Purple Son of Zerus. That might not be a bad choice. If we can nuke the enemy, like blobs and stuff. Yeah. And then we have like 330 gold left. Shrouding Mist just to help these Familiars tank the damage a little bit longer. Because I expect... maybe I'll just cut one of these abilities. I'll keep fight. I want to keep Fight or Die though. Right, keep that. Skim out on infantry. Just bring another that, and then... yeah, I don't know. I'll keep Seafang, because if we need to break through the Cathay box, that might be useful. Just get another Marauder and see if we can get a wider formation and just wrap them up. That might be useful. And then I don't have much money left, so Foe Seeker, I guess. Foe Seeker and a little bit of mobility to come in from another angle. Yeah. Probably not gonna end well, but we shall see what happens. I want to break from you, so our monster choices are quite limited because of how expensive familiars are. But again, I just want to bring them, so it is what it is. Alright, army's ready. Let's set things up. These familiars do not have vanguard deployment. Now these do. So we're just gonna drop them right behind enemy lines. Get some donks on the forest. And try and jump them. Maybe in the... and my Kurgan horsemen on the other side to draw their attention away. And then, yeah, we're just gonna rush, I guess. So not much else we can do here. Keep this Familiar Noble nearby, so we can add that 10% missile resistance to the already 50% missile resistance of these Familiars. And hope that the artillery isn't gonna do too much against us. It's just praying right now. And yeah. Alright, cool. These two are gonna stick together. These guys will have to be best friends. In case we need to like double team some dragons or something. These guys will be... these guys are like the distraction squad. Well, the ambushing squads. These guys are the distraction mobility squads, trying to draw the attention away from that side, and from the other flank. And then we have the main army here, which is like these guys. All right, we're done. Ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. To my opponent, King Arthur here. Alright, looks like our opponent is ready, so we're gonna start pushing up. Alright, we just have to rush. They got a lot of artillery. Yeah. Like, these units will have to stay there and just not move, and maybe just draw the attention away. Our main army is gonna get wrecked pretty hard. The cannons are coming in. Even after all the damage reduction, it is still not enough to save them from the Cathay artillery obliteration. Alright, come back in here. You need to stick around your units. You give them that 10% damage resistance. Missile damage resistance. That is very important here. Alright, these are Jade Warrior crossbows, so we can ignore that. Alright, just send these guys to tie them down. That doesn't really matter. Just move up, move up, move up. Just ignore that and just keep them going. Our infantry are screwed, unfortunately. Or more than screwed, actually. Yeah, that is just unfortunate. We are in charging distance now, so let's go. Alright, the bearmen are done for. Oh wait, shit, I didn't even realize my cavalry got charged. I got counter ambushed, damn it. That is a rough one. This is a rough one, man. Alright, one of the Famus are absolutely destroyed, unfortunately. Alright, we can maybe sneak in some docks over here. Alright, these guys pull back. I need to chase down the other Famus. Alright, we got to the core now. We got to their core now. Kind of. Go and jump these guys. Our docks took some damage, unfortunately. Our cavalry got wrecked. Because I wasn't paying attention. Damn it. If we had those cavalry remaining. Damn it. That was a very bad mistake of mine. Like we got inside the box, we neutralized a bunch of their missiles, which is good, but yeah, there's just we just don't have enough stuff left over in the end. Our hounds are running all the way to the capture point, to the edge of the map. I need another purple son of Zerus. I just don't have one ready. We do have another boat, so I guess we can do that. Oh shit, what's happening to these Miststalkers? They're fighting spears. Why are they dying so fast? I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's a rough one. I made a really big mistake with the cavalry at the early game, and I couldn't really recover from that one. There's too many infantry at this point remaining. Oh fuck! They came back! Oh no, that is not ideal. Jump them, I guess. Not much you can do at this point. Yeah, that was a rough rush. Like if I have my cavalry intact, maybe I could have get some work done against the routed of Iron Hail gunners and stuff. I just didn't, yeah. Oh fuck, why did I turn on the overlay? No! Why did I turn on the overlay? I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah. That was unfortunate of me. Like I don't even turn on overlay normally when I was picking units, so that was weird. Thanks for the reminder, Dakliku. But unfortunately, I don't think that matters. I'll cast the game again just to see how I embarrass myself. No. Grand Cathay. It's a rough match if you're not using Dread Mode though. Because Dread Mode can easily skip everything and just immediately disrupt the enemy missiles, but I don't have Dread Mode and I just have to rush the enemy box and just get shot to bits on my way in. GG to my opponent though, very well played, and I'm gonna quickly recast this one because I had my screen blocker on most of the game, and looks like the Familiars couldn't survive even with the missile resistance. All right, I'll quickly recast this and yeah, give you guys a view on how I ruin my rush. All right, let's recast this. So I have a line of Bearmen and Familiars and all that, and then there's some Norscan Warhounds and a unit of Miststalkers at the back. I've got my mobility here, but what I didn't realize is they have Jade Lancers hidden in the forest. So I was pushing on my mobility, and then I was focusing on microing my main army in the middle. My opponent has layers of Jade Warriors and Peasant Long Spears backed up by a ton of missiles, Jade Warrior crossbows, Iron Hail Gunners, and firing rockets, Grand Cannons, etc. Even dropping in the Ancestral Warrior summon to disrupt my push, and buying more time for that artillery to really wreck my monsters there. I don't really have much else to do, and just eating a bunch of damage on my way in. Now my mobility moved up, but I didn't realize they would have a bunch of Jade Lances in the forest, and that was a big mistake on my end, and letting my opponent pick off a Kurgan Horseman, which is quite expensive, and those Jade Lancers are already getting really good value. I'm jumping in with my Hounds and Kurgan Horsemen, but these Jade Lancers would just reap a ton of value, while the main formation here, Iron Hail Gun, is just raining fire into my formations. The 5 Male Warriors do have that 50% missile resistance, 60% with the Premier Noble helping, but that is still not enough to save them from those from all those Iron Hail Gunners. I'm dropping in the Purple Sun, trying to mitigate, silence some of their missiles here, and breaking through that box from the front here. While at the back there, Miststalkers move out of the ambush and try to jump into the enemy box as well and try to break them down, but the spears are just holding on just fine, while I am making much more headway in the middle of the formation. I'm even trying to send in some Norscan Warhounds into the back end, trying to disrupt their firing rockets, but that was a big mistake because they are just taking a bunch of damage for free and didn't really do much. Instead, if I kept them waiting at the back there, they could have just jumped onto these Iron Hail Gunners who are silenced temporarily and wiped them out. While on the other side there, the enemy lord chasing off my Korean Horsemen and a bunch of Onyx Crowmen as well, wiping out my routed troops. I'm definitely doing some damage to the missiles, but I'm losing out on the balance of power already. The Hounds somehow managed to get caught into these Peasant Long Spears and get damage enough to get routed instead of cleaning up those Iron Hail Gunners. I probably should have done a 1-2 movement to give them a better angle of attacking. That was another mistake I made. Now the Miststalkers are trying to get themselves onto these Iron Hail Gunners and beat them up, but there's just too many Long Spears nearby, and they're just grinding my Familiars down. These Familiars, they are very tough, they have high armor and all that, but even then, there's just too many Grand Cathay units nearby. And my Bearmen have taken way too much damage on their way in. There are just not that many units on my end to keep fighting on. While Grand Cathay stuff, way too much chaff still remaining. I'm sending over my Shaman Soldier. I thought I'm just gonna send them to chase down the Iron Hail Gunners, but the Iron Hail Gunners walk slowly, so they're not gonna reach the white line before coming back. While I'm too busy fighting all the other Grand Cathay units here, and yeah, these Iron Hail Gunners came back, and that is gonna be the end of my monsters, getting absolutely shredded from afar, and I couldn't really do much about it. Yeah, GG. At this point, I don't have much else to do other than just fight my way to the death here and stand defiant but still defeated. Right. There are two really good boats from Wolfric, but that is not enough to save the day, as it was just nuking a bunch of peasants. While the Familiar Warriors, I thought they could have done better, but with all that Iron Hail Gunner firing in, yeah, they couldn't do enough, and just absolutely getting nuked. If there were Dreadmauls, that would have been a lot different, but Dreadmauls is also a pretty OP unit, so it is probably for the healthiness of like the tournament meta. It is better to just keep it banned for now. It's just really hard to deal with that unit. Like, it's fun and all if you're playing as the Dreadmaul, but if you're playing against it, it's not fun. It's like, it's playing Whack-A-Mole, but worse. The Whack-A-Mole, the mole has a ton of HP, and yeah, you just and your whacking is not as fast as like your usual Whack-A-Mole hammers. It takes like half a minute to get from one side to the other to catch up with the mole. So that is not exactly a fun way to do it. To play Whack-A-Mole. So I just keep it banned for now. But yeah, maybe if I don't take Kurgan Horseman and pick something else, it might have been better. But yeah, it is a rough one for a Norsca without a Dreadmaul. But with a Dreadmaul, it's gonna be a whole different story. But we're still keeping in the Dreadmaul ban regardless. But yeah, very good damage from the artillery here. Even with the damage reduction, that is still putting a dent into my Familiar Warrior's HP bar, and the Peasant's health, just grinding down my Familiars as I fail to push through this wall of Peasant Spears and Jade Warriors. Very nicely played by my opponent here, and we are moving on to round 4, I believe. Nope, there's still one more battle going on between two players. So yeah, we'll be waiting a bit. I'll organize the replays a bit for casting later. And yeah. Alright, cool. Oh shit, give me a second. I might need to check some stuff for work. So like, it's not gonna be long, just a minute or two. Let me quickly let me just put it back. Alright, I am back. And we are on round 4 against Tomb Kings. I guess I'll still be praying for Muse. Right. Sorry, give me a second. Let me just quickly fix something. And then we'll be moving on to battle. Alright. Let's see. Our opponent will be playing Tomb Kings. And let me just quickly find their invitation. Also turn off the text on the screen so I don't have it on during the game again. Oh, the Tong Kings. Freaking brain rot. Alright. I say that because that's what the player written on the challenge name. Instead of Tomb Kings, it's Tong Kings. Right. Let me just quickly set things up. I believe in the Marauder and Marauder Bearman and Familiar Warrior combo. Let me try this again and see what happens. I hope it works, because if not, I'm just gonna be sad. Alright, let's see. I'll have... They're gonna have a bunch of artillery, which is gonna be a problem there. Maybe I'll just get a couple Krigan Horsemen once again. It's not been working, but maybe this third time's the charm, right? Actually, let me just cut these. And then get a caster. Or a mammoth, cut out some spells. That, and then turn off evasion, Spirit Leech, and oh, maybe I'll just get a Lord of Fire instead. No, yeah, Fireball. Wait, hold on. I can do that. Power Familiar. Plague of Rust, Searing Doom, and Final Transmutation. Get them on a War Mammoth mount. Get some Marauders. Javis, and then a couple. Yeah, we'll bring less Familiar this time. We'll bring less Familiar. Or we'll bring 3 Familiars regardless, and then just try to bum rush the other side. Let's see, if I have enough of these armor debuffs, then we can really nuke down the enemy armor and just shoot them to bits with javelins and stuff. Well, the Bearmen will be good in this match because they have immune to psychology. Forgot about that. So we'll keep the Bearmen. And hope we don't get shot to bits. And hope our Lord doesn't get shot to bits, mainly. Mainly that. Beast of Tashnar, Ice Wolves, and then we have 1 more 100 gold left. I guess we'll just get evasion, because we don't have much else left. Alright, let's go. And see what happens. Alright, that should be it. And hope for the best, I guess. Familiar Warriors, unfortunately, is just not a meta unit, but I think they have potential. I've always believed in them. It's not a familiar problem. It's a skill issue on my end. If things go poorly. Alright, we're in, and let's get ready. We don't have much choice other than to just bum rush them from the front. So we can just line things up in a pretty much straight line. I don't think we need to do anything else. Just line things up, get our mammoth on the little like pit over on the little lowered terrain here, and hopefully the slopes can block some of the incoming shots and stuff. We have some javelins. We have more javelins in the front. Turn them on. Route and turn them on as well. Just keep them harassing the other side. Why ice wolves don't have vanguard deployment? It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. That should be it. That's all we have. Good luck having to my opponent. Alright, let's just move our mobility over to the other side and just keep walking. Walk my lord into the vegetation. Oh, Setra. Oh, double cat! The dreaded the double cat. Ah! Oh, this is gonna be so cursed. Alright, let's get the Beast of Tashna over to the other side. And maybe we can jump the enemy back line or something. Push up. Famias will have to eat the missiles and tank the damage. We don't really have much of a choice there. Famias are holding on okay, actually. Right. Move up. Turn that on. Right, just keep chugging. Chuck everything, etc. I don't care what you do. Just throw things at him. Alright, jump the god, the chosen of the. Yeah, look at the damage. Let's go. The power of freaking. The power of the armor debuffs spams. Just nuke. Alright, Beast of Tashnar is not getting the engagement they want. Let's just get out of there. Get out of dodge. Alright, let's just shoot that guy. Alright, Cetra's down. All good. Jump them. I think that's over. Yeah. Okay, to be fair, I think my opponent just isn't aware much of this ridiculousness of armor debuff stacking. Oof, now I'm taking damage from all this. Alright, let's just do another armor debuff cast over on these chosen of the gods. Let them survive. Alright, I think that's basically it. Alright. Alright, I think that is, yeah, I think that is game. Like, if the artillery just focused down my javelins, it would have been a much better, choice. But yeah, my micro is a bit of a mess, because I'm gonna be honest here, I just haven't been playing much over the last few weeks, so... you can see my formations are very messy, and I made a lot of mistakes over the last 3 games, too, so, yeah. Alright, go and jump that. This guy is almost dead, actually. Oh, that is not him. Alright, army losses. GG. Yeah, the armor debuff spamming is just a bit much for any of the big cats to deal with. Like if they jump in and try to rush, bum rush the Norskins. Like if this would have been a much rougher battle if my opponent is like Drugash and go for kite heavy, because I won't have a lot of counters to that. I'm just focusing on a bum rushing tactic with the Familiars, but just on like a frontal engagement, like Norska with Familiars is definitely a very strong like combo. So the infantry plus monster combination is can be very good, but like their use is very specific and very specialized. They're good at breaking through front lines and stuff, but the exception I guess is against Cathay, which Cathay is it's a ridiculous faction to deal with, to fight. But yeah. Anyways, GG to our opponent there. And I think that is our last live battle, and everyone else is gonna be playing. Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of other round 4 battles, but yeah, that is us for this 20. And damn, it was a rough one with the Familiars, and I do need to play more and pick up to get back up to speed with my rusty skills again. Yeah, GG. But yeah, those Ushaptis are a big threat to my caster. He's still almost dead, despite me having a very strong lead early game. So, like just with them shooting and nuking my Great Shaman Sorcerer, that is a rough one. Like if the 2 big cats can be played a bit more conservatively, I think the Tomb Kings would have a pretty good chance. It's just that once they YOLO themselves into the Familiars, they're doomed. With a Plague of Rust and the Armor Sundering, that's a 90 armor debuff to a single unit. Basically nuking their armor from like 100 plus to almost nothing. But then this combo is very specific in what it is good at dealing with, so it is not always that you can yeah, it's not like it's an anti-everything build. It has very specific uses and stuff. Right. Let me just do some. Oh, hello, David. And hey, Milky Way. I assume you're already done with your battles. Then you did. All right. I will organize the replays for a bit, and also, sorry guys. Something from work came up, so I just need to quickly take care of that. But after that, we can just go into casting mode. All right. I think that's sorted. So, yeah, we can go back to checking out the replays and casting the battles. Let me just quickly sort out the replay files and make sure I caught everything from you guys. Yep, I don't think there are any new replays for now, so I will just upload everything into the folder and yeah. Give me a second, please. Alright, cool. Back to our earlier game, the Skaven versus Skaven, that we almost cast, but we had to abandon because our turn to play is up. The final promises to be exciting. I am looking forward to it then. Alright, so first of all, the Skaven Mirror. We gone through this once before, but in case somebody has joined in afterwards, I'm sure that there are people who are joining afterwards, so I am just gonna go through the army builds again. On the green side, I'm not sure who's playing which side, actually, so we'll check it out later. But on the green Skavens, we have Skaven Slaves front line, going quite cheap and cheerful here. We're backed up by Red Ogres and Doom Flayers. It is quite a cheap front line because all the funds left over went into the double Helping Abominations, including the Thing Regiment of Renown version with the fluid injection that gives oh wait, hold on. Yeah, that gives Rampage an additional damage stats. In the army, both sides are going with Skrulk. This one has Vermintide and Pestilent Birth. And on the... nothing else. Just this core army, because all the funds went into the Abomination, so they don't have enough money for anything else. On the other side, this army gone a little bit more elite with the infantry, upgrading from slaves to clanrats, with shields even. Wow, that is a rich Skaven clan, if you ask me. And behind them, Doom Flayers as well, and also Red Ogres and the more Skittos Hellion. An actual decent single entity fighter outside of the Helping Abomination. The rest of the Skaven single entity fighters are kind of meh, but yeah, this is fine. And leading the army is Lord Skroke as well, also Pestilent Birth, Vermin type, but also Wither with a minor, armor debuff. Although, I don't know how much is going to be useful here, because there's not a whole lot of non-armor piercing damage coming in from this Skaven army. They all, oh, actually, that might be helpful with the poison wolf rats all the way at the back, because they didn't invest into help hit abominations. They have a bit extra funds for these mobility to jump into enemy backline. The problem is there's not much of a backline for them to jump on, so they will be mostly tasked with rear charging and also chasing down routed troops from the enemy formations. Alright, looks like we're already seeing some damage here as the red Skroke walk up and drain away the green Skroke with Liber Bobonicus. And because Lord Skroke is a Skaven single entity that is not fraught and clean, he doesn't have access to healing. All this damage is permanent, so that is a very nice first strike. Getting some damage onto Lord Skroke, but of course Lord Skroke, Green Skroke returned fire with his own Liber Bobonicus, because both are Lord Skrokes. But if you can get a Liber Bobonicus earlier, then it might be quite beneficial here. Just to get the damage done first, and then you can cast a second Liber Bobonicus earlier. We shall see what happens. There's only one cast left, so it's not that of a big thing. Oh, these red flayers came in too close and getting rear charged by the green red ogres. They have to quickly pull back, and looks like both sides are kind of sitting and waiting this one out as the red Skavens are biding their time, trying to look for a good opportunity to engage. Oh, going for a sandwiching charge with the wolf reds, but I'm not sure how good it's gonna be. These are wolf reds. They don't have much of a leadership to begin with, and yeah, fighting red ogres and enemy clan rats, Skaven slaves, that is going to be too... that's above their pay grade. Oh, Doom Flayers coming in as well. Wait, these guys, these wolf rats actually managed to sandwich and rout off the Skaven slaves. I guess these are Skaven slaves, so that makes sense. But there are still some red ogres here. But then the wolf rats are pulling out and doing a cycle charge, trying to really whittle down these red ogres, drawing them out of position, really. Doing a little bit of a kiting back and forth, but unfortunately these are still just wolf rats, so they're still gonna die a horrible death and just run all the way away from the battles. At least they managed to pick off some clan rats, but is it worth it? I don't know. Actually, these are not even clan rats, these are just Skaven slaves, and losing one wolf rat and taking a bunch of damage in the process, that I don't know if it's worth it. Let's just fast forward here as things are going very slowly right now. Green Skavens have occupied the capture point and just sitting on top of it, eating a bunch of Liber Bobonicus once more, and getting slowly cycle charged with the infantry picked away, but it is a very rough one. Plague Mung summons, trying to charge headfirst into enemy infantry, but getting countered by an enemy summon. Clan rats being summoned in front of them, blocking their charge. But now Doomflayers rolling in with red ogres as well. On the other side, some Skaven slaves are also being thrown into the fray with not much of a follow-up. These red ogres are just sitting there watching those Skavens die. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Oh, Hellpit Abomination comes in. Oh, oh sorry, Rose Guitar Hellions comes in, runs into the Hellpit Abomination, but slams right out of that what is that called again? Rod of Corruption. Rod of Corruption AoE direct damage. I guess that is quite lucky for it, but yeah, not so much for the rest of the red Skaven units eating a bunch of direct damage. And on the other side, the thing is there to reinforce, slamming down those red ogres, picking off their HP and models. Okay, we're seeing multiple Rod of Corruption, but this time this red Skroke is walking away from the blob. Stay in there, keep draining the enemy units. Maybe like just drain down the Doom Flayers at least. That would be nice, but I guess they want to chase down routed troops, and because the red Skavens have wolf rats, they can actually chase off routed troops with much better efficiency. On the other side, the green red ogres are routed, but the thing is doing minor damage so far. Just smashing up a bunch of Skaven slaves and stuff. But yeah, this is a lot of Skaven bodies here. Red Ogres piling in, but being swarmed by the Green Skavens. And also a Helper Abomination nearby, smashing up monsters, terrifying them away as well. This is getting really rough for the Red Skavens, as the Morsketar's Hellion, the only thing that can really touch the Helper Abomination on the Red Skaven side, is taking a ton of damage from the double Helper Abomination, and it doesn't have healing unlike the Helper Abominations. So yeah, it's probably gonna die a horrible death fighting 2 anti-large monsters, while itself doesn't have any anti-large in return. More green plague monks are being summoned and just wiping out the enemy. Ooh, these are summoned Killing Reds. Never mind, not a big deal. But yeah, Morsketar's Hellion is gonna go down. This red Lost Crooks coming back, but I don't see how the red Skavens can win this one, man. I mean, they did manage to secure this far flank, as they do have the number superiority and just overwhelming whatever's left on this corner. All the Skaven slaves are gone. After all, the green Skavens only have Skaven slaves as an infantry support, and they're pretty much down to only 1 Skaven slave spears left on the field. But at the same time, they do have 2 very powerful single entity monsters, some of them are threatening to go after Lord Skrull, who is trapped in the middle of a bunch of Doom Flayers. More Red Ogres coming in from the green side. They do have 2 very healthy Red Ogres still around, while the Helper Abominations are just gonna go and fight elsewhere. Dropping in more Climate Summons as well. Rod of Corruption into the green Doom Flayers. Okay, that is a good choice. Just keeping them, trying to drain away their HP instead of fighting them to their death. Not that there's any better ways to kill them anyways on the Red Skaven side. Rod of Corruption in return from the Green Skavens, and yeah, both sides are taking a lot of direct damage and at this point. But the thing is, the Green Skavens have heals, the Red Skavens do not. I mean, heals is in the form of regeneration, but that's heal regardless. And the Helper Abominations are virtually untouched. Yeah, you can see the thing is full health. The regular Helper Abomination took some damage, but it's quickly going back to full health soon. So yeah, I don't see how the Red Skavens can bring this one back, as they just do not have any form of recovery against damage, and on top of that, they don't have any good solutions to the double Helpets Abominations. You can see a lot of the Red Skavens are running, and I guess they can try and capture the point. They are indeed getting some victory tickets, but they need to keep those Helper Abominations pinned. It is easier said than done, as they are just terrifying whatever's left on the Red Skaven side, as the Red Skavens are getting very tattered, and they just don't have much left. There are still some Skaven slaves on the field for the Green Skavens, and yeah, they're just going to try and secure the capture point with the double Helper Abominations wrecking whatever is coming close to it. And because they're just going to sit on the point, they do have a little bit advantage in the capture weight, routing everything off, and that means the Red Skaven was not able to just secure the capture point. And it's slowly falling into the hands of the Green Skavens. Oh, it looks like the Green Skavens managed to push back the Red Skavens as well, and they're just gonna come back and capture the point with the Red Skavens. Unable to come. Yep, looks like that's gonna be a army losses for the Red Skavens. With the Green Skavens securing victory here, the 2 Helper Abominations standing tall till the very end, at full health, as the Red Skavens simply do not have anything that can damage them. Morsketar's Hellion did not do anything good against the double Helper Abominations. Fighting, like, it can probably do some good damage to one, but 1v2 getting double teamed by 2 Abominations, man. I don't think any single, like, entity in Total War Warhammer can deal with that much of a threat, of 2 threats. And yeah, that is going to be a very I mean, all the Skaven slaves are done for, and a lot of losses to the Doomflayers as well, but the 2 Helper Abominations are still there, and Lord Skrull still survives, and I think that's all that matters for the Skavens, and they managed to secure a win for this one. GG. Let me just quickly check, are there any more replays? Alright. Alright, that is the first battle of the replays, and now we have more coming in with Nurgle versus Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings, I would say, have a pretty decent shot on this one. And Nurgle is gonna be having a rough time with the lack of missiles on their end. We'll see what happens. Pastel Vista going with Nurgle versus CB Grinch. Oh, the last battle was Milky Way with his Skaven versus Race with Skaven. Huh, interesting. Yeah. I was quite surprised that Race was not prepared to deal with Helpy Abominations, because double Helpy Abomination in the Skaven Civil War is very hard to beat. Like, I would not have expected, I would have expected something, like, I would expect players who are experienced in the game would already have some kind of plans against that, but yeah, I guess it was the more Skatar's Hellion, but it was just not enough. Yeah. Next up we have Pastel Vista's Nurgle versus CB Grinch's Tomb Kings. We shall see what happens here, as Pastel Vista going with 5 Plague Bears, just a tide of rotten flesh and blight boils and bruises and rot, and oof. I don't want to deal with this kind of army when everything's gonna infect. Like, imagine fighting an army of just infected rotten flesh, and the slightest scratch is gonna kill you by sepsis. That's not something you want to fight for sure. Alright, anyways, for the front line here, it's just 5 Plague Bearers, man. It's just a wall of slowly moving flesh. I guess the undead do not have this kind of an infection problem. They're dead, they're just bones, you can't infect that. But I think there's also, Nurgle has like plague that can work on not only undead but even robots. So yeah, that is gonna be we'll see what happens with that one. Yeah, but other than that, a front line of Plague Bearers of Nurgle, there's the Tamerkin, the Maggot Lord there, supported by Noxspringer, a Soul Grinder of Nurgle, with the ability to erode your ammo and slowly reduce your ammo count. Although both sides are very much out of each other's shooting range, so it's gonna be a while before they engage. And on top of that, it seems like the Tomb Kings didn't have any long-range artillery, so they're just this Noxspringer is just free to sit there and fire and bombard away at the enemy formations there. Once again, we're seeing the Angels of Decay on the battlefield with their Death's Head, a very devastating barrage of consistent armor-piercing damage. Very high damage per shot as well, and yeah, Tamerkin is on foot, no Toad Dragon this time. Supported by Kia Saucer of Nurgle with Fleshy Abundance and Fleshy Abundance only to keep the monsters and important units alive, including a Rotten Knight here. Yeah, that's it for the Nurgle army. Very elite and rather narrow in terms of build, only 500 something models. And on the other side, the Tomb Kings is a bit of a contrast, over 1,500, 3 times the models here. With Skeleton Horse Archers, 4 units in fact, to skirmish down the enemy units and maybe whittle them down with just barrage of arrows, and then a main formation of Skeleton Warriors backed up by more Skeleton units. And this time it's just 5 spears surrounding a single eye of the desert. Oh, there's a long-range artillery, the chosen of the gods, but they do get outranged by the Noxspringer, so that might be a bit of a problem where their ammo will just get stripped away beforehand. 2 units of kitty cats. One is Cetra the Imperishable, the other is the Sphinx of Uzcav, which is a really good choice against Nurgle with the flyer damage to reduce the enemy healing. And we'll fast forward a bit here. Cetra coming in with Incantation of Vengeance, Curse Blade, and Blessed Blade of Petra, which is pretty good. Alright, unlike the last battle where we've seen the Angels of Decay, this time they do have an actual counter on the field. There are a lot of skeleton archers who are able to move up and start like peppering them down, whittling their HP away. They're forced to fire back, doing really good damage to the skeleton horse. Oh wow, the Noxbringer, one volley or two, that was enough to nuke these horse archers, man. That was painful. And they're down to only half ammo from the ammo stripping and also themselves firing away. Alright, they do not want to walk in. No, they walked in. No, they walked into Vortex. Nope, they didn't get... I guess that didn't actually... The Vortex doesn't hit them with the destroy ammo. In fact, it's just a direct hit with the explosion will apply that, maybe? Comes in, another shot, Cloud of Erosion, erodes their ammo. They really need to maybe push up and whittle down those Angels of Decay. But right now, they are protected by the Rot Knights. Cetra is moving up. Maybe luring out the Angels of Decay so that maybe the Skeleton Horse Archers can push in and start firing again. But yeah, the Noxbringer is firing. Good thing is it's not hitting the Chosen of the Gods yet. Oh, Osirian's Incantation of Vengeance, draining away the Angels of Decay. Can it knock out a couple more models, perhaps? We shall see. Still have 10 more seconds, and it is indeed getting low. They're indeed getting quite low in health, but the models are still intact. Only one model lost so far. More archers are coming in. Okay, another model of the Angels of Decay gone, and they're getting extremely low in health into very dangerous territory at this point. Chosen of the Gods moving into the forest. Oh, that is a bad idea. Those shots are gonna get blocked by trees. You can see those shots are not making contact with the... Oh, wow, actually, Cetra comes in and bulldozes his way through those plague barriers. But yeah, the Chosen of the Gods, a lot of his shots are getting blocked by the trees. Do not do that. Do not fire in front of trees. Your shots would not work. Just don't. Anyways, good news is Angels of Decay are slowly getting worn down to the last handful of models at this point. Bad news is the Chosen of the Gods really need to get out of there. Like, maybe move them out to the other side. And so they can get a better angle onto the Rot Knights or the Angels of Decay. Instead of just getting blocked by trees. Or even, not even move around. Just pull back. And they will have a much better angle, like maybe to the right, maybe to the left. Just not through the trees, man. Stay away from the trees if you're a missile unit. But yeah, Skeleton Infantry are just gonna get grind down by Plague Bearers, while the Double Kitty Cats are unstoppable right now. They need to jump over to the Rot Knights though and try to work them down. The Venom lasers of the Eyes of Desert are unleashed upon the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, doing some decent damage. They do have some really good single entity armor piercing damage if they can focus fire. The problem is because how short the range are, they usually don't get a chance to fire and they just get dragged into melee. But right now it seems like they can actually fire, but they don't have the best line of sight. Just fire, man. Come on. But anyways, the Rot Knights are being chased off by a combination of Cetra and the Chosen of the Gods fire support. So that was quite unfortunate for the Nurgle army. I feel like Rot Knights are just kind of overestimated for their performance. They're very fragile for some reason, despite having a lot of armor and decent health. Like, I don't know why, they just feel very fragile to me. Their melee defense ain't bad either. They just, like, I feel like they just die a lot quicker than they're supposed to. Even the Rotting Riders. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening with the Rot Knights. Like, they always underperform, even with the regeneration and all that. Anyway, Chosen of the Gods are firing into the fray, trying to hammer down those Plague Bearers and whatnot. While the Double Cats are going after the Noxbringer now. The Noxbringer doesn't really have any good targets to fire at anymore. Oh, he still has, just not that much ammo left, and the enemy melee threat is right in front of him. He can't just sit there and take the melee hits. But yeah, the Noxbringer is in an awkward 2v1 position. Tamarkin needs to move on over and maybe put some hits into Cetra the Imperishable. But if the Tomb King players knows what they're doing, they're just gonna leave Tamerkin last at this point and just ignore him. Because right now they seem to have a pretty good hold onto the battle engagement. The Plague Bearers are pinned, very much pinned, and like there's no mobility left on the... Yeah, there are no mobility left on the Nurgle side. Except these Rot Knights, they are still fighting and duking out, working their way through those Skeleton Horse archers, but still getting bogged down by Skeleton Warriors, while the majority of the Nurgle forces are in the middle here. A bunch of Plague Bearers are already gone, faded back into the warp, while the single entities here are getting targeted by... I feel like these Eyes of Desert should just target the Noxbringers, because obviously they are having issues with line of sight. Just change your targets, man. Just shoot at the easiest one to shoot at. Or shoot at Tamerkin, I guess, that will also work. Just, yeah, getting some really good damage done. Tamerkin is almost at heal cap as well. So even if he can trigger that, even if he can trigger the Feast of the Magalord, he still won't really do much healing. All he's gonna do is damage. But yeah, Noxbringer and Tamerkin, seeing that the Eyes of Desert still have so much ammo left, knowing that it's going to be a big threat to them in point-blank range, trying to go after these Sepulchral Stalkers, but unfortunately, it's going to take them a while. They're still very healthy. While the main force of... Oh, these Plague Bears are working their way through the skeletons. I guess that's something, but the Nurgle Sorcerer is getting chased off. They need something to distract... Oh, well, Tamerkin himself is distracting the double kitty cats. Shooting is still ongoing with the Chosen of the God. Oh, looks like the Rot Knights came back with still quite a few models left, and they're regenerating. And oh, Syrian's Incantation of Vengeance, draining their health away, and that might kill a few models on them as they're all very low in health. Tamerkin and Noxspring are duking it out in the middle here, and the Plague Bearers are just such stubborn units. Their tenacity is admirable for sure. But yeah, the missiles are back online again, especially with the Eyes of Death firing in with their magical damage, their magical ammo. Noxbringer not having the best of armor in the world, especially now that he's tired, with the exhausted reducing it by 22. Yeah, he's just taking way too much damage. Even if he has armor, the venom blasts are still like armor piercing, so it's not gonna matter. Tamerkin is the only one healthy remaining. Oh well, I guess there's... yeah, it's the only one healthy remaining, and some tattered Plague Bearers as well. But these Rot Knights are kind of stuck in the middle of a bunch of Chosen of the Gods. They're trying to charge down the Eyes of Desert with Tamerkin's help. Maybe this will work. Tamerkin is nearby indeed, turning on Nurgle's favorite son. But yeah, the Rot Knights are just too weak to turn this one around, and are gonna be destroyed and terrified away by Cetra himself. And yeah, that is gonna be GG, I think. We're gonna fast forward here as the Eyes of Desert continues to just trying to pull back and kite away, while the Sphinx of Uzgeth comes in and try and help out. Usurian's Incantation of Protection of Vengeance is gonna do a lot of damage for the battle. 3,000 plus damage from Cetra the Imperishable here. I don't think Tamerkin's gonna activate the ability, his revival ability. I don't think. Let's see. He's gonna die, and then that's gonna, and maybe not. Maybe not. He's still gonna take one more hit. What is his ability he's gonna apply on? He's unbreakable, so he has to go down. Oh, and it's... Alright. Tamerkin goes down. Comes back, but... What the fuck did he use his... I guess on Cetra? It did some damage. Minor one. And he's trying to go after Cetra. It's not gonna matter. He's gonna die. And that's it. Wait, does the ability actually work? I'll check again. I'll check it. I think the animation the animation triggered, but I didn't really see that much. Oh well, I think it worked on Cetra. But either ways, unfortunately, the Angels of the Gods just didn't do much here. They don't have the range to outshoot those skeleton horse archers and are indeed shot to bits. The Angels of Decay did pretty meh. And Raw Knights did meh as well, unfortunately just not having the best engagements, constantly getting dumpstered by a bunch of Sphinxes and piled on and blasted to bits by missiles. The Plague Bearers had a very respectable grind. They were just holding the line for forever, but they just don't have the damage in the end. Termagant did a lot of damage though, duking out in melee, but yeah. Cetra out-damaged him. 3,500 gold, man. That is a lot of work done. With the Osirian's Incantation of Vengeance and also just melee attacks in general, jumping around enemy formations and wrecking those poor Rot Knights in melee. Yeah. As for the skeletons, they didn't do much. They were just there to buy time for the single entities and monsters, the constructs, to do the work here. It's, oh, Chosen of the Gods, this is so good. As their multi-shot, shotgun-like great bows, multi-shots are just really good, even against both single entities and ranged units, and just blasting those poor Rot Knights to bits as well. Eyes of the Desert, for once, actually get to use their Venom Laser, blasting the Noxbringer back to the warp as well. Good stuff. A lot of good use of Tomb King's missiles in this one. GG. Alright, next up we have, oh actually I might need to, let me just try make an announcement on the Discord to announce the winner first, because we do have a clear winner. Alright, we do have a clear winner for the Tony, so I'm just gonna make a quick announcement. And we'll go back to casting again. Thank you for joining the 20 and checking. Oops. Alright, cool. Actually, I was about to resume casting, but then we got another replay file, so let me just quickly reorganize that. And then we should have every replay sent in the replay file. There we go. Okay, next up we have Grand Cathay versus Vampire Coast. That is gonna be a rough one for Vampire Coast, I think. Their artillery do get outclassed by Grand Cathay, but maybe I'm wrong. We shall see. Pasta la Vista. You tried, sigh. It is definitely admirable attempt, valiant attempt with Nurgle here, but Nurgle is not exactly the strongest faction right now, unfortunately. But yeah, a slow grinding Healy faction that is very much countered by missile spams, unfortunately. All right, for the armies here, Grand Cathay do have the classic Grand Cathay box here: Jade Warriors, Peasant Long Spear surrounding multiple artillery, Grand Cannons, double Silver Chevrons. Damn, that's a lot of investment. Firing rockets and Iron Hell Gunners, plus a single Jade War drum, the Regiment of Renowned Dragon War drum, sitting in the middle, making them immune to terror due to the immune to psychology effect. That is a very strong, it's very strong effect to apply to boxing builds. Are they using that, or are they using something? Oh wait, Icon of the Great Cities. Oh wait, there's also the leadership buff as well. It just makes the box so much more reliable, as their leadership is a lot less wobbly. Now, Dragonblood, the Shugengan Lord of Ying, leading the army. Once again, I assume that's going to be an ancestral summon somewhere to disrupt the enemy from advancing, or just drop into their backline or something. On the other side, Void of Vampire. Oh, sorry. Let me just check the rest of the spells. Talons of the Night, Ancestral Warriors, and Missile Mirror. That is going to be a painful one for some of these. Undead forces, as they might just shot themselves in the face when their shots coming back at them. Almost forgot about this, but the Green Guardian, Terracotta Sentinel with the redirecting aura to just reflect missiles back into the enemy. That is also going to be a dangerous one as well. There are some on the other side for the Vampire Coast, a front line of zombie pirate deckhand mobs and gunnery mobs. Bombers, actually, these ones are. And handguns as well, plus single Shade Wave gunners backed up by 2 carronades and more deckhand mobs with their pole arms, protecting these artillery, scurvy dogs, and a Night Terror regiment of renowned Mongols are on the battlefield. Leading the army is a Luther Harkon. You don't really see him, as he doesn't have any spellcasting ability, just that he is a decent duelist, and more importantly, he has that pistol to do damage and can silence enemy caster. But other than that, he doesn't have any good use, and even then, his pistol can still be kind of unreliable here and misses his target. So yeah, he's just not a popular lord, but we shall see what happens with him. Vampire Fleet Captain with a Deep Magic, Denizens of the Deep, the Crab Summons, Spiteful Shot, and a Tight Call as well to just do some damage or boost their long range capabilities, or send in the crabs to disrupt enemy forces. Looks like the there are also scurvy dogs, but yeah, looks like the Vampire Coast are pushing up, as they know that they can't outshoot Grand Cathay's Grand Cannons here, and immediately receiving some heavy volleys from the enemy Grand Cannons, and firing rockets are firing soon, I guess. But yeah, on the other side though, the Dragonblood, the Shugengan are eating a few shots from the Shade Wave gunners, but she is only a single entity on a Longma as well, a dragon horse, so she can quickly fly the hell away from there. Now, rockets continue to rain down onto these bomber mobs, and they're really feeling the pain here. Unfortunately, they're zombies, so they're really struggling to push up in time. Oh damn. Oh damn, the carronades are not in range yet. They can't fire back at the firing rockets or the Grand Cannons. They are slowly closing in though, I guess, and maybe they're gonna start firing back soon. But even then, one bomber mob is done for. With the Harkon is gonna stay behind here, just stick around in the back line there, trying to screen off the Dragon Blood, the Shugengan Lord. Oh, the firing rockets and Grand Cannons are just doing so much damage. Even with the ethereal status of the Shade Wraith Gunners, they are still getting destroyed. I almost feel like the firing rockets sometimes can be a bit too strong, and over here the cannons are just wrecking them regardless of damage reduction, because 1000 damage in half is still 500, and it's still more than enough to kill the Shade Wraith models. And yeah, I guess one of the firing rockets is going down. Wait, no, they're taking a lot of damage, but they're not going down yet. Ooh, that is a nasty one. The Carronates do not have enough damage to make a difference here. Oh, I feel like the Fade Cannons might still need a bit more nerf, especially something like firing rockets. They're still way too good for what they do. I guess they're the artillery faction. Oh, and Ancestral Warrior summoned right in the middle of the enemy formation, forcing the Vampire Coast to just throw in Scurvy Dogs to pin the enemy down. But yeah, that is not gonna be enough to save those Carronates, honestly. There's only one more Carronate left, and the other Carronate is... Yeah, the other Carronate has been wiped out by the Ancestral Warriors, so... Yeah. As I said, the pistols can be quite unreliable. And they were not able to deny the Dragon Blood of Shugengan Lord from casting that Ancestral Warrior summon. And all the Carronates are down at this point. Vampire Coast have no choice but to push, but they're gonna walk straight into enemy fire shooting range. And with the green the green Guardian coming in, these bombers are just gonna explode themselves. And yeah, that is I'm afraid a perfect counter to the Vampire Coast army with all the artillery. Like, how does 2 Carronates lose out against 1 Grand Cannon and firing rockets? That doesn't make sense. I feel like the firing rockets might deserve a bit of a nerf, but I don't know. Alright, we're just gonna fast forward this one, as without the artillery, the slow-moving zombies walking into the Grand Cafe shooting is just gonna get obliterated. Which is exactly what's happening. They managed to push in. And even knock out some of the artillery, but with all these peasant long spears holding the ground. Oh, Night Terror comes in and wipes those Iron Hail Gunners. I underestimated them, I guess, but... Oh, and the Scurvy Dogs are being held in reserve for a good long time, and now they're able to just rout off all these, wipe out all these routed Grand Cafe missiles. I might have said my conclusion too early. I might have made a mistake in my judgment, as the Green Guardian is getting grind down with the Harkon, and the fleet captain comes in and beat the shit out of the Green Guardian with the help of some summoned crabs earlier. There's still a lot of Grand Cafe ground force on the field, but this doesn't count. The Jade War Drum ones without infantry support, it's nothing. Night Terrors might want to move out of there and maybe try and find some other way to whittle down the Green Guardian. There are still multiple Jade Warriors. Some of them are capturing the point now, getting those victory tickets, sweet tickets. As the Vampire Coast did have the advantage earlier, but now the control belongs to Grand Cafe. As the Vampire Coast are just desperately trying to push the Grand Cafe formation. They were making some good progress, but once the Peasant Long Spears starts to hold the ground and starts grinding, they are hard to beat. At least there are no missiles to buff their yin yang effect. Actually, these guys still have the harmony effect, as the Giant War Drum counts as both yin and yang. And the Night Terrors receiving a lot of damage from the Green Guardians, surrounded by Peasant Long Spears as well, just getting whittled down. The single entities are trying their best, But Vampire Fleet Captain... Ooh, the missiles are just returning into their face. The handgunners are shooting, but they were just getting missile mirrored. I think it's missile mirror, I think. Yeah, the Green Guardian doesn't have... How much is R? 55 meters. Yeah, it doesn't reach those shots. It doesn't reach those handguns. So, yeah, with that, the Peasant Longspear simply outgrinds the zombies here, and with Jade Warriors capturing the point, there's no hope for the Vampire Coast to bring this one back. As, yeah, victory shall belong to Grand Cathay, who just stood their ground. GG. Yeah, Grand Cathay box is a bit rough. Like, I think the only way I can reliably break one Grand Cathay box is to double Stonehorn them. But other than that, it's rough, man. Yeah, the box stood their ground. It was pretty much the same formation like we saw earlier, but yeah. And the Vampire Coast did get outclassed in terms of firepower. Like, the 2 Carronades somehow lost to one firing rocket and one Grand Cannons. Yeah, the Grand Cannons just does so much damage, man. And the Sheriff Gunners as well, being outranged by the enemy artillery, got hammered hard with not much they can do about it. The Scurvy Dogs tried, and some of them did manage to disrupt and get to the enemy artillery, avenge their fallen brethren, but at this point the artillery already earned back their worth, and then it is down to the Green Guardian and the Peasant Spears to do their job. Yeah, GG. Very nicely played by both players, but Grand Cathay is still proven to be the ultimate box faction. Alright, let's oh, okay, let's do a Tomb Kings one. We do have quite a few Tomb Kings battles, so we will check them out later. Let me just quickly check that I missed some replays, actually. I think there's a Tomb Kings versus Nurgle that I didn't download. Yep, that is the one. DLC, Tomb Kings versus Tomb Kings versus Fate DLC. Yep. Yeah, I forgot to download the Tomb Kings versus Nurgle one. So let me just quickly move that into the replay file as well. Unless we have another similar Tomb Kings versus Nurgle that I'm not aware of. Alright, no, yep, that's everything. Next up, let's do a Tomb Kings, because we do have quite a few Tomb Kings battles. Let's do a Tomb Kings mirror here. One's more artillery focused, the other is more cavalry focused. Both sides bringing big monsters too. So yeah, we have Grinch going with double halberd Necropolis Knights, something you don't see every day, because Necropolis Knights have been kind of subpar for a while, but they do have their niche uses sometimes with their anti-large armor piercing. This time they're supporting the Sphinx of Uskif and an Eyes of Desert, providing some close range fire support, a front line of Nekara warriors to grind through enemy skeleton infantry, skeleton spears as well. And on the other side, they are more focused on Lord is Cetra the Imperishable coming in with Soulstorm, interesting, to do AoE damage, I guess, to clear out enemy skeletons. Incantation of Cursed Blades and Blaze Blade of Fitra. On the other side, for the Red Tomb Kings, a front line of skeleton spears. This is going to be the last of the mirror match, because there are only 3 mirror matches in the first round. So this is the 3rd one, just to make sure you guys are not seeing more mirror matches afterwards. Cetra the Imperishable leading the army with only Skullstorm, just to do AoE damage, nothing else. Supported by regular Necrosphinx and multiple Ushabtis, 2 with great bows, 2 with melee weapons, and an Arrow Titan coming in with the bonk. Although he's more of a stompy person, a stompy construct to step on enemy units, and yeah, I guess sometimes occasionally bonk them with their staff. But yeah, immediately unleashing a Shim's Burning Gaze onto Cetra, trying to exploit the fire weakness with that fiery magic missile. There's not much for the Green Tomb Kings to really stop Cetra from rushing in, though. Oh, He just took some friendly fire from the friendly Ushaptis. That was unfortunate. But yeah, there's not much to stop Cetra from jumping in on the other side, except the Eyes of Desert are coming in, I guess. And the Necropolis Knights are just flanking around, while the double Kitty Cats on the Green Tomb King sides are jumping in to try and shut down the enemy Ushaptis. The Skullstorm into the Skeleton Spears, trying to thin out the enemy support, infantry support, and more Ushaptis are being piled into the fray here. Arrow Titan and the Necro Sphinx are also jumping in. These Ushaptis with Great Balls need to pull out of there, but right now I think the Green Tomb Kings are in a bit of a pickle here, as they're just surrounded and beaten up by a lot of armor-piercing single entities. The Rat Cetra needs to come back and help out, and especially drop in some melee attacks onto the enemy Cetra. The Blast Blade of Retreat is helping Cetra in the fights, but it's just not enough to overcome the numbers difference. Oh, looks like the number difference is getting saved by these Necropolis Knights surrounding the Red Cetra with nothing friendly nearby. This Red Cetra is completely surrounded and pinned. Things suddenly turn around completely for the two Tomb Kings, as the Red Cetra is eating a ton of damage. It needs an incantation of protection. Wait, I forgot, they don't have that. Well, that is a problem here. Forcing out, is that the curse? I think that's the curse. Give me a second. Yep, I think that's the curse here. Drop down to less than half HP and immediately triggering a bunch of... Oh wait, no. The curse? Wait. Yeah, oh wait, yeah, the curse. Immediately triggering against all the Green Tomb Kings unit. But the Red Cetra is in big trouble. Arrow Titan is just sitting there watching their Liege Lord die. And this Red Cetra is not getting out of here alive here. The Ushaptis need to come in and bail him out. But no, like they decided to go after the Eyes of Desert. Not exactly a bad call, just to silence their missiles. But this Red Cetra needs some saving here. He's just stuck in the middle of a bunch of Necropolis Knights, unable to pull away. Now the Arrow Titan and the other Ushaptis are nearby, and Red Cetra is trying to get out of there. The Necropolis Knight still slapping him at the back, just spanking him. And alright, the Red Cetra is out of there, but he is crumbling away. Sphinx of Uzkev comes in and delivers a killing blow, perhaps. Nope. Another hit, he's gonna go down, but Cetra kind of hangs around, but his leadership is not stabilizing. And more Necropolis Knights are nearby. Cetra goes down. Red Cetra goes down, and the Red Tomb King's army is in big trouble. They no longer have any spell support, and also no leadership support. The Sphinx of Uzkev, Sphinx of Uzkev on this other side, bullying these poor Ushapti Great Bows, and the Necropolis Knights are going to hunt down the Ushapti Great Bows on the other side. There's only pretty much just these this Necro Sphinx left, and some tattered Ushaptis, and I assume one of them is a summon. Oh wait, this is a summon? No, this is not a summon. Oh, this is a summon. So pretty much there's only like one Ushapti left. This one's a summon, so he's gonna be gone in a bit. The Arrow Titan's still relatively healthy, but it's not exactly a melee powerhouse, and I don't expect it to win against two Necropolis Knights and two Kitty Cats. So yeah, the Red Tomb Kings are in big trouble right now. No longer have that Cetra support, the Cetra melee power, and the Green Tomb Kings still have the best Blessed Blade of Tra and all the spells on Curse Blades and Skullstorm support left on their own Cetra, so they're gonna be fine with leadership and spell support. And yeah, I'm gonna fast forward a bit here. The Red Tomb Kings are moving up. We're trying to get some, trying to group up all their constructs into a blob to support each other, but a summon from the Green Tomb Kings with their Ushapti surrounding the enemy Ushaptis, while the Kitty Cat, this Ushapti, trying to beat down the Green Cetra, who's getting quite low in health. As both sides, Cetras are getting heavily targeted. Are there any spells left on the Arrow Titan? No, nothing left. I assume they just use everything onto the Green Cetra. So the Green Cetra is also gonna go down, leaving only the two armies to duke it out. But with the Sphinx of Uzkev still around, and the Red Necro Sphinx is getting very danger low in health, and I don't think the Red Tomb Kings are gonna pull this one back, as army losses hit, leaving the Arrow Titan crumbling to dust. And a victory shall belong to the Green Tomb Kings here. And that shall be it for this one. And Aero Titan is a respectable choice, but the investment into all these long-range Ushabtis means that they don't have much melee units to counteract the threats from those double Necropolis Knights, the double Kitty Cats, and the infantry getting cleared out by those Nekara warriors with their anti-infantry bonus. I would say it's just that there's a major mistake from Plague Baron here, singling out these Cetra, YOLOing Cetra too deep into enemy formations without enemy support, without any like friendly support, allowing Grinch to just isolate the red Cetra and pick it off in the end. GG. And yeah, for once the Necropolis Knights with halberds actually did their job, surrounding Cetra, beat him down, and hunt down any other enemy constructs with their anti-large armor piercing. Alright, next up we have a Skaven versus Nurgle. And Skaven's not bringing a whole lot of missiles, instead going with a Storm Vermin spam. What is this? What the hell is this, Milky Way? Leading army is Lord Skrok with 4 Clan Rats, 3 Storm Vermins with halberds, 4 Skaven Slave Slingers, 3... Wait, are these not Runner Slingers actually? These are Gutter Runner Slingers at the bottom there, 3 of them, and then 4 Not Runner Slingers, I think. So okay, they do have a lot of missiles, just not the Skyr missiles. And on the other side for Nurgle, it is once again Tamerkin, this time on a Toad Dragon, supported by a line of Chaos Warriors with great weapons and a Plover at the back. And once more we are seeing the Nurgle War Shrine with the heals coming in. That would be quite nice, but oh well, these are Skaven, so there are a lot of bodies to sacrifice and charge up the ability. Case is on the far flank here to provide some dueling power and also some Chaos Knights of Nurgle. One Nurgle Warhound is Vanguard deployed, and is there the second one? Yeah, actually there's a second one over here. So 2 Nurgle Warhounds Vanguard deployed, ready to jump in on enemy weapons teams or any squishy backline. In this case, this will be the Night Runner Slingers. But Night Runner Slingers are also decent in melee, so that might not be the best target, unfortunately. But it will still be a better target, I guess, in this kind of scenario. For the Skaven's front line of Skaven's Clan Rats, reinforced by Red Ogres and Storm Vermin halberds behind them, and just a ton of Slingers, Night Runners and Gutter Runners alike. Skrok once again leading the army with his 2 items, Roar of Corruption, Liber Barbonicus, Vermintide Summon, and Pestilent Breath Summon. That's it for army builds. Now let's get the battle started. As Nurgle don't really have much to do other than just bum rushing the other side, honestly. Getting a Breath Attack out as well, even. I would argue it's better to save the Breath Attack for those Storm Vermins, but I guess they just want to get some damage out before being forced to jump into combat. Yeah, a bit of, unfortunately, just kind of missing a good chunk of the Breath Attack. Maybe you want a better angle would be from this side, just to make use of that damage spread. But yeah, right now, Scurvy, Wolf Rats jumping into those Night Runners, but unfortunately just getting beat the shit out of them, with other Slingers providing fire support as well. Chaos Warriors rushing in. They should be able to take down Clan Rats, no problem. The problem is the Storm Vermins behind them. They can do some okay damage with the armor piercing, but other than that, they're still against some pretty tough opponents. Yeah, unfortunately, Wolf Rats are being routed by those Night Runners, but Chaos Knights would be a different story with their heavier armor and better melee stats. We shall see what happened here. But right now, the Plover Rush is not doing too hot. Getting absolutely hit on by all kinds of slinging pebbles, and also being forced to get out against Storm Vermin. This is not a fight they want to be in. Even with the Chaos Warrior infantry support, that is still a bit too much for them. Stream of Corruption of trying to whittle down enemy missiles there, but oh, Tamerkin, forgot about him. He is just wreaking havoc in the middle of enemy formation, trying to disrupt enemy, but he's surrounded by Storm Vermins and Red Ogres, taking a lot of armor piercing damage. That is not ideal at all. Case is also in the middle of the mix, but he needs to go after Lord Skrok and try and take him down to just cut off the leadership and magic support of the Skaven army. And if you take down the leadership support, Skavens would be a lot more vulnerable because they don't have good leadership to begin with, and then minus 10 leadership debuff will really affect them on the long run. Right now, Tamerkin is going down, and he doesn't seem like he's gonna trigger his Feast of the Megalord ability. He's getting so low. The pebbles are just accumulating so much damage over time. The pebbles doesn't have a lot of good damage per shot, but the thing is they just have a lot of volume with the Skaven infantry. So there's a lot of numbers coming in from those pebbles, putting a dent on even cakes to be found, even if he's a small target. Now they're aiming down at the Nurgle altar, War Shrine. Not doing as much damage, I don't think, but yeah. Stream of Corruption once more trying to whittle down the Skavens, but I don't see how the Nurgle army can pull this one off, as most of their units are done for from the Red Ogres and just combat attrition from the tide of Skaven infantry, man. That is just so many bodies. And also, of course, the halberds have the Stormvermin halberds have a little bit better melee stats and more leadership as well. So allowing them to just outgrind those warriors of chaos, the Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, pushing them into army losses. The Stormvermins are still very much healthy, man. Like they're just holding and just chilling in there. As the Chaos Warriors are really struggling to break through them. So yeah, they just got wrecked in the end, unfortunately. Night Runners, this is some pretty decent work here. Most important thing is just whittling. Oh, and Gutter Runners as well. Most important thing is to whittle down Tamerkin. And scoped it. All right. But the killing blow against Tamerkin is definitely from those slingshot pebbles. While Nurgle here really struggling to do the damage against the Stormvermin due to the lack of melee stats on their end, and Chaos Knights have limited damage as well. GG. Okay, let's go. We have a lot of Tomb Kings in the end. All right, let's just do some mix between Tomb Kings first. That's mostly because I received mainly Tomb Kings replays. So, let me just quickly check if I have any more replays. I don't want to miss anything. Chain Soldier said the final one's gonna be good. Let me just quickly check. Chain Soldier, who did you... Oh, Chain Soldier didn't... I don't think... Hey, hold on. I don't think Chain Soldier played? Yeah, I don't think I see their name here. Huh? Or they have a different name, I guess. I'm not sure. Alright, anyways, we will just keep casting. Next up we have... Let's do Tomb Kings versus Demon... let's do Tomb Kings versus... Oh, I haven't seen Demons of Chaos yet, so let's do that one. We're seeing a line of... That's a lot of Sepulchral Stalkers, which makes sense when you think about it. The Venom Laser does magic damage, and all of the Demons of Chaos have physical resistance, so the magic damage spam can actually make sense. Sphinx of Uskav as well does magic damage, so that helps against the demons, and then everything else is just chaff and etc. Slow down a bit. The front line of Skeleton Warriors, 4 Sepulchral Stalkers, and Skeleton Spears in the second line. Sepulchral Stalkers providing that magic missile. Oh, and they do magic melee attacks, so that can be useful in both melee and at range then. Sphinx of Uskav, magic attacks as well, and Cetra the Imperishable, no magic attacks, but just a good powerful lord in general. With of course Incantation of Vengeance, direct damage enemy units, drain them away, and Incantation of Curse Blades to buff damage with well, Cetra does have magic damage actually. Blast Blade of Hydra. providing magic damage, blinded effect, and flaming attacks. On the other side, for the Demons of Chaos front line mixed in with blue horrors, the plague toads, plague toads of Nurgle, and Nurglings on one flank. Backed up by some missiles in the form of pink horrors and 2 more fiends of slaanesh. Okay, so oh wait, no, there's no corn. I was about to say this is just a chaos army of everything, but there's no corn here. So I guess it's just they're not inviting corn to the party. I guess the free gods. Leading the army is a Herald of Tinge with metal magic, with Searing Doom, Plague of Rust, and Chromatic Tome, providing extra power recharge and reserve, and also the Locus of Conjuration for even quicker mana regeneration. That's it for the army builds. Let's get the battle started. The Nurgling on the far flank is for Legers Bubonic, so they do have the Regiment of Renown status with their extra damage melee damage reflection. Not exactly amazing, but I guess every little bit helps. They are also a little bit tankier than your usual Nurgling, so there's that, I guess. Anyways, pink and blue hordes firing in and trying to whittle down the enemy characters and single entities, which is not a bad call at all. Cetra does have that slight fire weakness here, and will be more vulnerable to those warp flame damage. Now the Sepulchral Stalkers receiving heavy focus fire from the pink hordes, who do outrange them quite a bit, which was unfortunate, as they are now forced to sit back and just wait for the Plague of Rust to wear it down, because the Plague of Rust nuking their armor down to 20 make them a lot more successful to the non-armor piercing missiles of pink hordes and blue hordes. Blue hordes still holding line against skeletons, but over here on the left flank, the single entities have rushed in. Sphinx of Uskav and Cetra breaking into the enemy backline, absolutely wrecking those poor fiends. Yeah, just absolutely dumpstering those fiends in melee with magic attacks and just absolute insane weapon strength. Also, Eyes of Desert firing into the fray. Final Transmutation from that Herald of Tinge, trying to equalize things a bit, drain down the enemy single entities with the direct damage. But would that be enough? We shall see. I forgot. Oh, there's the Soul Grind of Tinge fighting. It does have a little bit of armor piercing and even anti-large, so it can actually do okay against the Sphinx of Uskav if it doesn't get absolutely wrecked by RNG, of course. Plague Toad still heavily blue horrors, and Nurgling still holding back the enemy skeletons. Not much the Tomb Kings can do about this, other than just try to duke it out, as all their investment went into their single entities here, so they can't really afford much of a front line. 2 very expensive units, and Sphinx of Uskav is slowly getting worked down, as it is just eating more and more warp flame from nearby pink and blue horrors. And yeah, Incantation of Vengeance from Cetra trying to deal with these fiends, and indeed these fiends are sent back to the warp. But again, I forgot about the Soul Grinder. It's just firing point blank. It should do some good damage by now. Well, okay, 1200 damage value. That is some really good job. It must have been shooting at enemy constructs all the time, and now it has switched over to try and shoot the Sepulchral Stalkers. Never mind, going after the enemy lord, going after Cetra at this point. And a cast from Cetra. Unfortunately, I was miscast, doing some extra damage to Cetra here, and everything is just focusing down Cetra at this point. Pink horrors nearby, the Tinge of the Herald of Tinge metal magic as well, just using the single shots double shots once in a while to whittle the enemy characters. Except, I guess, a couple shots went into the stalkers, so there's that. But yeah, things are still fairly even. The problem is the Tomb Kings don't have a whole lot of resources alive. They have used up their summons for the Ushapti, trying to shut down the enemy pink horde. They do have their double Sepulchral Stalkers, triple Sepulchral Stalkers still on the field. Is there a 4th one nearby? No, I think the 4th one is gone. But yeah, there's still 2.5 at least fighting it out. So it's if they can retreat back to the safety and shoot, then the Demons of Chaos will be in big trouble, as they don't have any good solutions against these Sepulchral Stalkers, other than just trying to waddle up and grind them down. But the thing is, there are still a lot of skeletons on the field. They can't just run up freely and try to ignore any obstacles, right? So yeah, these Sepulchral Stalkers will be in a better position trying to go straight after the Soul Grinder of Tinge and silence their gun. But we shall see if they're gonna manage it. Looks like they stopped and getting a shot from the Herald nearby. That is not ideal, taking extra damage in the process. Fighter Transmutation on the far side here, trying to nuke down Tetra and Imperishable, and it is okay effective. It did some damage to the Sepulchral Stalkers nearby as well. Where? Oh, I think that unnamed Necrosphinx. Oh, a bolt of change. Just two sphinxes. One is a Necrosphinx, one is a War Sphinx. Two sphinxes lying dead on the ground. Not much can be done about it, as Cetra got sniped by the freaking bolt of change. Can't really dodge that one, and you don't have any ways to block spells in this game, unfortunately. Redirect, reflect the damage back, yes, but yeah, there's no parry. Literally parry this motherfucker, and it's a no, I can't moment. Sepulchral Stalkers, 2 of them still alive, 1 is barely, but also still alive. And they're able to just sit back and whittle down whatever that comes close to them with their high DPS. The Venom Laser is nasty with their damage there. And yeah, let's do a bit of fast forward here, as balance of power is still fairly even, but I don't see how the Red Tomb Kings, Red Tinge Army can bring this one back with only Soul Grinder in melee. Like, yes, it can do some okay damage in melee, but against all these Sepulchral Stalkers who have a possibility of just sit back and shooting the shit out of you, I don't think that's gonna work well here. They're already firing once again, making a notable dent in this poor Soul Grinder's HP. And there's still a bunch of skeletons nearby, and yeah, to kill all these Eyes of the Desert and Sepulchral Stalkers, they need to kill all. They need to eliminate enough of those infantry to make sure there's nothing interfering in a monster duel. But I don't think the Tomb Kings have the Red Tomb King. I don't think the Tinge Army has the resource to clear out all these infantry, and the remaining Soul Grinder is crumbling away, leaving only the Herald of Tinge still in the fight, who tries to jump in and shut down those stalkers. Which doesn't matter, because even if he gets into 1 or 2 stalker unit, there are always more stalker nearby to fire in and shoot him down. Now down to the last bit of HP, the Herald of Tinge goes down, and that shall be victory for the Tomb Kings. Yeah, some good damage from some of these Eyes of Desert and Sepulchral Stalkers. Infantry, not so much, as their main thing is just to buy time for, again, for the monsters and for the constructs to do their jobs. Sphinx of Viscap, they didn't even get close to earning back their worth. So I wonder if damage is all just Cetra. Not Cetra as well. It's just very equal. Relatively. Oh, okay. Yeah, Sepulchral Stalkers did some good damage, but other than that, I think it's just rather equal distribution of damage. Yeah. As for the Demons of Chaos here, Herald of Tinge with those final transmutation and just one and that burning chariot missiles. There's some okay damage. There's some really good damage, actually, earning back their worth and then some more. Some of the blue horrors did well as well. Pink horrors, a couple of them did okay. Plague toads, they are tanky, and they're really annoying to get rid of, but they don't do a whole lot of damage, unfortunately, and just didn't earn back much value. Fiends, they can be good damage to the dealers, but they are just, I feel like the lack of well-defined muscle hurts them, but as they are not doing enough damage. But I think the main thing really is just they are too fragile. Then immediately after they jump into combat, they start like getting attrition down, and that is a very annoying problem to deal with if you're playing with fiends. They just kind of melt away as soon as they see combat. So Reiner did well. I assume he has been shooting at those single entities and Ushaptis and whatnot. So earning back quite a bit of value despite a very low kill count. But very nicely done by both players. But though, it will be a Boba or what's the name of the actual player? A Boba is Giffy, I think. Yeah, it's Giffy or Guy-Fi. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, Pink Horus did all right. But yeah, mostly it's the Herald of Tinge and the Soul Grinder carrying the day here, doing most of the damage for their armies. Alright, give me a second. I'm gonna quickly get some water and I'll be back and cast the rest. Alright. Thanks for waiting. Let us jump back right in. We do have quite a few Tomb Kings game left, so let's save this one for later and do another Tomb Kings battle. Already seen the Tomb Kings mirror. So we have Oh wait, we have already seen Tomb Kings versus Nurgle. I think. Yeah, we have already seen the Tomb Kings versus Nurgle, so we can just delete that one. Yeah, Grinch versus Pastel La Vista. Alright, cool. So we can delete that one. Lizardman, Tomb Kings versus Vampire Coast, and then... Oh wait, no, we can do a Tomb Kings first. Alright, let's do Tomb Kings versus Vampire Coast then. Alright, Tomb Kings with Plague Barons with double Tomb Scorpion, which can be a good disruption piece against enemy artillery boxes. And this time they're bringing Necropolis Knights as well, 2 Necropolis Knights with normal shield and spear, and versus +1 more with halberds in case they need to deal with big monsters, I assume. And then a Carrion for an aerial disruption. Actually, yeah. One Carrion in the skies to disrupt enemy missiles, slow down a bit for army belts. Cetra the Imperishable once again, and a main formation of skeleton spears. We have Necropolis Knights on the left flank, and Vanguard deployed are the Tomb Scorpion. Interesting. You don't usually see that happening. Usually just people would just set them in the front line and sorry, no, not this one. Set them in the front line and just trying to break through with their animation and stuff. But yeah, that would be interesting to see the Tomb Scorpions moving around the flanks and get to the enemy back line. Cetra coming in with a lot of his toolkit. Almost all the spells even. Incantation of Desiccation, which I would say is like you don't really need that. It's like it is a very strong enemy melee debuff, but I don't think that is your concern here. I guess you want to help out the Necropolis Knights, but it's probably better to just drain away their... Wait, why are you having Righteous Smiting? Oh, they forgot to take... I think they forgot to take off the spells. Yeah, that's probably why. Because there's no missiles units here, and there's no point having this incantation of Righteous Smiting at all. Yeah, there's literally no point bringing this at all. All you need usually is just Incantation of Vengeance and Curse Blade and maybe Neru's Incantation of Protection. That's probably all you need. He does have the Pitless Blade of Vitra and the Wrath of Vitra as well. Yeah, that should be it for the Tomb King's army. For the Vampire Coast, a front line of deckhand mobs mixed in with bomber mobs, backed up by deck gunners, 3 of them in fact, and some scurvy dogs surrounding a single mortar to try and nuke enemy archer lines, I presume. Deck gunners will also outshoot enemy archers from a long range, so that would be nice as well. No Sheriff gunners because the terrors... I guess the leadership reduction is just not as important against undead because they don't rout, but yeah. But I would argue the explosion damage can still do really good work against the enemy densely packed formation, so I don't know. Anyways, that's all for the army builds. Oh wait, sorry. Leading the army, Vampire Coast army. Once again, Luther Harkon with a couple Felbats next to him. So immediately jumping onto the Carrion and take a really nice win in the early game, shutting down one disruption unit. The Carrion can't really pull out at this point because it's just stuck in an overwhelming force of enemy units. The Tomb Scorpions are moving out of the tree line though, and are sneaking into the enemy back. Scurvy dogs are trying to stop them, but that is a Tomb Scorpion. It's very hard for a dog unit to pin them down, so you can see it's just yeah, it's not even slowing down. I guess it's disrupted and started fighting now, but it's just pushing through, not even slowing down a bit. And but though these Necropolis Knights are sitting around for too long and just eating a bunch of shots coming in from those deck gunners and trying to push their way through halberds, actually managing to push through. These halberds did not have were not bracing, so they don't have the extra charge charge mitigation, so they just get absolutely trampled. And yeah, the Necropolis Knights are in the back line. Cetra is jumping in as well. However, the Tomb Scorpions is still a bit stuck and unable to get into. One of them is a bit stuck, unable to get to the deck gunners. The other managed to destroy the deck gunners in literal seconds. That was very nice. And Necropolis Knights are unstoppable, just piling onto another unit. This time, Luther Harkon, who jumped down onto the ground and tried to take out one of the Necropolis Knights, but he's surrounded by Necropolis Knights as well. Felbats are nearby. A crab summon has been dropped onto the battlefield, trying to provide some support here and also just pin down, counteract the enemy cavalry and constructs. But yeah, things are not looking too hot for the Vampire Coast. Well, I was gonna say it's not looking too hot for the Vampire Coast missile box, as a lot of their missiles are shut down, but these deck gunners are still firing, and the Tomb Kings have suffered heavy losses in their Necropolis Knights department. All their infantry are wiped out because I totally forgot to talk about them, as they're just getting bombed out by the bomber mobs. One of them is still alive, getting into bomber mobs, but yeah, what's happening? Why is the balance of power so in favor of freaking Vampire Coast? Oh wait, the Necropolis Knights, one of them is wiped out, two of them are just heavily damaged as the polearm deckhand mobs surround them and grind them down. I assume Cetra wasn't quite able to use his spells too much because there's the silencing pistol shots coming in occasionally. The mortars have been doing work against these spears. Yeah, wiping out a lot of spear unit. Not even the bombers did some good work, and the mortars as well, and there's just not a lot of infantry left for the Tomb Kings. And unfortunately, some of the Necropolis Knights are just very much stuck in the middle of a halberds, unable to get out, and I think they're able to get out, they're just not getting out. So allowing these mortars to keep firing, as those Necropolis Knights keeps just staying in the middle of a halberds and getting grind down. Cetra is silenced now. So he's been in a bit of a trouble. He can't use any of his abilities to try and equalize, make the fight a bit better in his favor. Also getting taunted, poisoned. He's getting debuffed to the Abyss at this point. Yeah, he's getting debuffed to Shadow Realm, and the Tomb Scorpions are disruption pieces that should have been constantly moving, but right now, this one's moving all right, but it's just not doing much to anything. It's just slowly moving, and this one's stuck in the middle of a bunch of troops. Cetra still silent, still unable to cast any abilities or spells, as Luther Harkon is just on to him right now, with pistol shots coming in occasionally to keep him silenced and disrupted. Refreshing that disrupted, just constantly refreshing that disrupted contact effect. That is so unfortunate for Cetra. A breath attack from Deathstreak Charagai is doing some minor damage, but still decent damage, pushing them into army losses. Victory belongs to the Tomb Kings. For the Vampire Coast, as they manage to dominate that missile game here. Yeah, Necropolis Knights unfortunately just getting stuck in the middle of a bunch of halberds and unable to do what they're supposed to do, which is to disrupt and shut down enemy missiles before fighting the big monsters. Too many halberds, and the infantry got mobbed by the bombers and mortars. Explosions, man, they do too much damage here. One of the deckhand mobs, deck gunners did okay, but mostly is Luther Harkon silencing Cetra, denying him from casting any abilities or spells. So all those abilities and spells extra additionally slapped onto Cetra was mostly useless in this battle due to the silencing. I guess this is where Luther Harkon really shines, is to just shut down the enemy caster. Deny them from that spell support, which, to be fair, the Tomb Kings invested a lot onto. All of those expensive spells, none of them were useful in this case. I do wonder why did they bring so many spells but just not Naru's Incantation of Protection. I don't think I see the Incantation of Protection there, but everything else is there, so I don't know. They must have been a bunch of misclicks. But yeah. Infantry just got wiped out by explosion, so the Tomb Kings didn't do much. The Tomb Scorpion is an interesting one. One of them did really well. Wiped out one of the deck gunners, but the other kind of got stuck into a lot of weird fights, so not really doing a whole lot of work. But yeah, for the Vampire Coast, it's just Luther Harkon doing all the damage there, shutting down, doing early damage to one of the Necropolis Knights and jumping, etc. Yeah. Actually, one of the Necropolis Knights took a lot of damage early game. I'm not sure what happened there. Let me just quickly jump back in and check that one out. Just have a quick check. Alright. Luther Harkon wiping out those fell beds. Oh, yeah, the one of the Necropolis Knights just sitting in front of, like, oh, well. Yeah, it's sitting in front of enemy deck gunners for too long. Yeah, yep. Luther Harkon jumping into one of these Necropolis Knights. Immediately, dumpstering them with it. The taunt, I forgot about that. Taunt is a really good, like, debuff, nuking armor and melee defense, slowing down their speed to making them more vulnerable to being pinned down and pursued to death. But yeah, really good damage here, really nice stuff, and yeah, victory. Yeah, the Necropolis Knights was very much stuck. Alright, there we go. Imagine if Tomb Scorpions got the burrow ability in some form too. I mean, that's what they did in the TK trailer. Oh, that would be very... It would be very strong. And it would be another... It would be the same thing as the Dreadmaw shenanigans. And we will have to ban Tomb Scorpion. Unfortunately. That I swear that's gonna be what happens. I don't know. Alright. Last two battles, let's go with, okay, this one was really bad. I don't know how bad it is, but Nurgle versus Lissaman, let's go. And, this Nurgle, Pasta La Vista, once again going with a wall of Plague Bears, 2 Rod Knights, and, Throwing Axe Marauder Horseman. And 1 Noxbringer to bombard enemy formations, strip away their ammo and whatnot. Also, the bombardment with the Vortex effect can be very powerful, damaging to enemy infantry formations. Tamarkin, the Maggot Lord, supported by once again a Nurgle Sorcerer of Nurgle. Fleshy Abundance and Stream of Corruption to do some AoE damage. On the other side, for the Lizardmen, a lot of Skinky Boys, a ton of Skink Skirmishers backed up by Skink Cohort with Javies, and 1 Umbro Tide, which can do some really good damage against a meaty Nurgle blob with their explosive fire breaths. Fire spits, probably. Lord Mazamundi on Zlak, providing a very tanky and very powerful melee combatant with tons of spellcasting ability. Curse of the Midnight Wind to reduce enemy armor, which can be quite useful to synergize it with the Umbro Tide here, making their non-armor piercing anti-large shots more effective. Interesting. And we do have, what else? We have Banishment, we have Ruination of Cities, the classic stuff, Apotheosis, Net of Amentok, Shield of the Old Ones, yeah, all the classic stuff on... Wait, is there no Blood Statue? Yeah, there's no Blood Statue. Oh wait, no. I don't think... I don't think Mazamundi has Blood Statue, right? They do have Sunburst Stand of Haxuodo, so extra melee defense and missile resistance. Yeah. On the mobility front, we have a lot of Cold Ones. Spear Riders and regular Cold Ones, and yeah. Cold One Riders, actually. Yeah, just 3 Cold One Riders, 1 Spear Riders for the anti-large, and Noxbringer, New Kingport, Skink Skirmishers from afar. Probably want to aim at those... Oh wait, Umbro Tide can't aim at Umbro Tide. Forgot they have stock. Anyways, Lord Mazamundi pinned down one of these Rod Knights with a Net of Amentok. Very nice stuff. locking them down, preventing them from pulling back or charging. So they are forced to eat the charge, and on top of that, follow up with a quick Cohen Spear Rider charge, but then drop in a banishment as well to really nuke down the Rot Knights. And Javelin's coming in to whittle them down, and now the Cohen Spear Riders and Cohen Riders are just sitting back, ready. Oh, yeah, they're just dumping every AoE spell into the vicinity to nuke these Rot Knights. And now the Cohen Spear Riders and Riders are coming in to chase down the Rot Knights. One of the Rot Knights are already terrified and routing away. That was very unfortunate for the Rot Knights, as they are absolutely getting nuked by a very much a concentration of resources from the Lizardman side. Umbro Tide also firing and lowering their leadership even further. Just enough for them to get terrified by Lord Mazdamundi. And Cohen Spear Riders, Cohen Riders are all in the vicinity, although Tamerkin and the Kill Saucer of Nurgle are here to just whack these Cohen Spear Riders. Oh, and also some fire support from the Noxbringer trying to turn this fight around. That's why these Cohen Spear Riders got routed so fast. Unfortunately for Nurgle, though, Mortar Horsemen of Nurgle pushed up a little bit too far and got obliterated, incinerated by those Umbro Tide here. Plague Bearers are very tanky, so they're just eating a ton of damage, but still holding strong. Though Lord Mazdamundi is in a bit of trouble, as Tamerkin and the Saucer are just kind of whacking him in the back. But thankfully there are a lot of Cohen Riders nearby, able to pin down the enemy single entities and screen out those characters there. Noxbringer is in a bit of trouble, being tied down by Cohen Riders. These Umbro Tide are closing in. Good news is he's kind of behind a tree, so some shots hit the trees, instead of hitting him. Managed to save his R's right there, but now he's pushing his way out of the tree line. But the Umbro Tide are aiming at Tamerkin. He is a bit of a small target, despite being larger than a human, larger than a horse, but he's still kind of small, so unfortunately some of the shots will land into the Cohen Riders. Stream of Corruption here, trying to whittle down some of these Cohen cavalry, but yeah, just not really useful here against like concentrated cavalry like that. Umbro Tide is just waiting a good opportunity to fire it. I don't see how Nurgle can bring this one back, unfortunately. Like, they don't have a lot of good options against Mazdamundi. Rot Knights are sitting back and healing, so I guess that's something. They can try to regenerate some and come back for another fight. But yeah, things are getting really rough for Nurgle, as there's still very much a healthy Umbro Tide roaming around, while the Plague Bearers are slowly getting banished back to the warp. And Noxbringer as well, being tied down in the middle of Cohen Riders, shot by blow dots, having a taste of his own poison medicine. And yeah, the Rotting Riders are forced to engage once again, but they're not really in a position to do so. They haven't healed back enough yet, and their HP is still very low, which means their leadership is also very low, and they might just get terrified again soon. While Tamerkin and Caster are kind of stuck far away from Lord Mazdamundi. So Lord Mazdamundi was free to just do his thing, while the Plague Bearers are on the far side getting whittled down by javelins and blow dots, although bringing quite a few skinks down alongside them. Yeah, the Umbro Tide is just free to sit there and fire, but not doing a whole lot of damage. I guess all the damage comes from the Cohen Cavalry. Double chevrons, 1,000 gold worth of damage value. Also, just knocking out those Rot Knights early with Lord Mazdamundi's spell spams. It is a very powerful. He is a very powerful lord indeed. Tamerkin is still fighting a good fight, but he is pretty much on his last stand at this point. Lord Mazdamundi doesn't even need to get close to him, and just let the Umbro Tide point blank shoot him and kill him. That would have been enough. Alright, more shots coming in. Tamerkin is not having a good time, and he's just getting point blank executed by a torrent of fire. I think he also got netted earlier. Yeah, he's just stuck and constantly staggered, and able to push up and get to Mazdamundi and killed. That's a whole lot of staggering, by the way. All the fiery explosions and blow darts. He is just not getting close to Lord Mazdamundi. And yeah, a rough one for Nurgle for sure, with all those missiles. As usual, Nurgle is not really good at dealing with so much missiles, especially when a lot of the missiles don't really care about Noxbringer. Yeah. While Lord Master Money getting solid damage value, these blow dots did work, and Quad Cavalry too. Usually you don't see them doing exceptionally well, but 3 of them earned back the value and then some more. One of them also earned back some really good value. Man, these Quad Cavalry, like just jumping onto Raw Knights, and also surrounding enemy characters and single entities and just wiping them out. Umbro Tide in the end point blank executed Tamerkin. So Tamerkin just got shot to death. Very, very brutal end for this parasite of a lord. Can't even trigger his Feast of the Maggot Lord in the end. GG. And one last battle, I think. This is going to be Tomb Kings versus Lizardmen. Well, how many Nurgle players today? 2, actually. I think it's just that not everyone sent in their replays, and mostly Tomb King players and Nurgle players sent in their replays, so we don't have a whole lot of other replays to see. But yeah, I mean, like it is up to the players to send in the replays if they think it is worth casting. So it's not anything worth mentioning. It's just that just so coincidentally that happens, and so mostly we're just watching Nurgle and Tomb Kings replays today, which is this is the reason why. But yeah. Anyways, what the fuck, Oxyosho, why are you here? Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, let's jump in and see what happens. Tomb Kings versus Lizardmen. This is gonna be a fun one. I never expected to see an Oxyotl, and well, here we are. Once again, we're seeing Umbro Tide. Grinch here going with Arcan with a ton of skeletons, and once again, Necropolis Knights. This time 3 of them with halberds. Sphinx of Uzkaf and Ushapti Greatbow, the chosen of the gods, ready to pound the enemy formations from afar. Yeah, Sphinx of Uzkaf. Arcan, the black, coming in with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna. Also his Tomb Blade Skeleton Summon, Staff of Nagash for extra power recharge, and more importantly, cooldown to spam spells. For the other side, Lizardman going with Oxyotl, a brave choice, because these days, Skirmishing Lord are just not what it used to be. Can't really do, like, they either need better damage per shot, or just more ammo. Maybe just more damage per shot, because like after going into ultra scale, they still do the same damage, but everything else have like more HP, and which means they do less gold damage value per shot. So that is just not ideal. And their increased HP doesn't really do much for themselves because they don't go into melee fights, so they don't really need the extra HP. So yeah, it is just unfortunate. But yeah. Skink Skirmishers in the front, backed up by a bunch of Skink Cohorts, a bunch of Feral Cohorts and Spear Riders as well, just scattered across the battlefield. We have some Colossodon Hunters, anti-large armor piercing, Reproductile Riders ready to fight some monsters, and Umbro Tide to shoot at any big constructs. Alright, so yeah, that's it for an army builds here. Let's go back into normal speed and see what happens. Alright, looks like some actions are gonna happen here. We'll keep our camera over on this side. Let's see, Feral Cohorts pushing up. Maybe they're trying to look for a fight with these Necropolis Knights. Yeah, they're going in for the Necropolis Knights, trying to pin them down. But Necropolis Knights are countercharging. They're overextending. Oh no, they're getting countercharged, and these clever girls are gonna go down. And on top of the Fate of Buna onto the Spear Riders. That is gonna be painful, as they're gonna lose out most of their HP. They just need to get in and start doing damage before they got entirely deleted by the Fate of Buna. At least the Reproductile Riders are nearby. They can probably jump it. Oh, slow down a bit there, because the other side is also having a lot of engagement going on. Skinks clashing against Skeleton Warriors, while the Umbro Tide opening fire at the Chosen of Gods, doing some quite good damage already. While Reproductile Riders, they're going after, oh no, they're going after Arcan. So oh no, so these Cohen Spear Riders are left for dead. Well, the Necropolis Knights, their backs are completely open to rear charge. If they just go in and pop that Toad Rage, they can do some pretty good damage. But yeah, I guess they're just gonna have to do whatever they can now. Missing out on the charge. I mean, they still did get the rear charge. And Chosen of the Gods are currently silenced because they're getting pushed back by Oxyotl, and Oxyotl is shooting in as well. Oxyotl and the Umbral Tide. The problem is there's the Sphinx of Uzkev all the way on the other side, with the Halberd Necropolis Knights pushing in, and yeah. Ripperductile Riders did some good damage, but they can't really stay there for long because the skeleton units are going to grind them down. They are very weak to combat attrition after all. Arcan the Black is chasing off one routed unit of Quen Spear Riders, and yeah. Oh man, battles are happening everywhere. Although one of the Furrow have been finally routed, Colossal Hunters did some okay damage, but unfortunately taking a disproportionate amount of damage in return, as the Chosen of the Gods are just targeting them for the whole time, and really whittling down their health. Probably they should have went over to the Chosen of the Gods because they were completely unprotected, just to kill off this very important unit of long-range missile first. Because now it's turning its eyes onto the Cold One's Spear Riders and just eliminating these expensive cavalry from afar. And the Umbral Tide, when did they? Oh, they shouldn't have gone back here. They should have just kept shooting at the Chosen of the Gods and try to wipe them out. Right now, Skinks are losing out against those skeletons, as there are just too many skeletons, too scary. Skeletons too scary for them. And on the other side, once again, Colossal Hunters dived down, but they did not manage to earn back their worth. They did manage to get some more Furrow Coens into an engagement against the Necropolis Knights. Toad Ray just popped, but it might be too late to make any difference now. They can do whatever more damage they want, but here comes the Necropolis Knights with halberds to mop everything up and save Arcan. Now finally, some Quen Spear Riders have been peeled off to go after these Chosen of the Gods. But it's a bit too late. The Chosen of the Gods already did a good chunk of damage. I mean, not enough to earn back their worth, but still a pretty good chunk of damage. And oh, these Necropolis Knights and the Sphinx of Uzkev are patient. They've been waiting. Now that a lot of these Koan cavalry have been peeled off to deal with other stuff or just died, the back line of the Lizardmen is very much exposed. Only leaving some skink cohorts and Quen Spear Riders to try and save them, but yeah, the Sphinx of Uzkev has their eyes onto the Umbral Tide, eyes on the prizemen, and Curse of Midnight Wind lowering the enemy armor. Maybe the Umbral Tide can start turning around and shoot while the Quen Spear Riders is keeping the enemy busy. But oh no, a Summon Ushapti going straight after these Umbral Tide. Okay, they're doing a good volley into the Sphinx of Uzkev, but they do have that 20% fire resistance to keep them survive a little longer against those Umbral Tide fire barrage. And Curse of Midnight Wind, it has worn off. Skinks are trying to come in and disrupt these Summon Ushapti, but they're quickly routed off. And Umbral Tide continues to run, but they do need to turn around and start firing back into the fray again. Especially the Necropolis Knights are still one of these ones are probably gonna be gone soon, but these ones are uncontested, very much healthy, and with the support of some Summoned Ushapti as well. The Summoned Ushaptis are gonna disappear soon, but yeah, these Necropolis Knights are just chilling. Oxyotl getting some okay damage. I don't know what he's been shooting at, but yeah, just not quite enough to earn back his worth now that he's running low on ammo as well. And yeah, Skinks unfortunately are running out of numbers. Skeleton Warriors still have some healthy ones because Arcan has been spamming summon. And oh no, a Fate of Buna! Oh no! The Umbral Tide is gone! No more. Oh, there goes the last. There goes the best counter monster, anti-monster tool, anti-construct tool from the Lizardman side. And yeah. Basically, the Fate of Buna is just a delete button. Umbral Tide doesn't have a whole lot of HP to begin with, and that one spell deletes the entire unit. They're not coming back. Leaving only 200 HP out of 3,000 as a whole. Yeah, this unit is gone. There's no healing to save them either, so that is very unfortunate. And yeah, I think that is going to be GG here. Oxyotl continues to kite. but he can't really deal with the skeleton spam. And yep, Umbral Tide shattered. He can probably try to snipe out the... wait, hold on. He can probably try to snipe out the Sphinx of Uskev, but he's constantly getting harassed by like skeletons and stuff, so he's not really in range to shut down the Sphinx. Although the blow darts are doing work, I guess. 600 HP, they just need to keep shooting. Just shoot your blow darts, man! Alright, down to 300, another volley, he's down, or Oxyotto comes in for a shot. But skeletons are nearby, he can't really put out those shots. Alright, this Sphinx of Uskev is going down, leaving only the Necropolis Knights to worry about, and also Arkan. The problem are the skeletons, the skinks don't have enough numbers to deal with them. Oxyotto is not a melee fighter, so he would definitely struggle against so many skeleton warriors. And Oxyotto is trying to go after Arkan, but Arkan, actually, ironically enough, can kite Oxyotto with Spirit Leech spams. And they still need to figure out how to deal with these Necropolis Knights. Curse of Midnight Wind lowering their armor is good and all, but there's not enough DPS nearby to really work down these Necropolis Knights. Skeletons are still on Oxyotto's ass. And now here comes the Necropolis Knights as well, just knocking him around. It would not be a good time for him at all. I guess if it was me and this... oh no, the capture point is also in the hands of the Tomb Kings. Oh, good news is at least Arkan the Black is kind of pinned, so Oxyotto can try and come over and start shooting. But at the same time, he dropped the skeleton summon, and absolutely just gonna break the spirits of these King Skirmishes, and continues to whittle down Oxyotto with Spirit Leech spams, the Spirit Leech kiting, man. And on top of that, Necropolis Knights coming in, Oxyotto just does not have a peaceful time. He cannot find a good time to pull out his blowpipe and aim at Arkan. He's just constantly under pressure. Without a good, reliable way to execute Arkan, and also Oxyotto getting lower and lower and hunted down by Necropolis Knights, there's just no hope for the Lizardman to bring this one back. And yeah, that would be the victory for the Tomb Kings and seal ascertaining Grinch's victory in the tournament here, getting a straightforward a series of 4 victories in this tourney, and became the champion of this weekend faction wars. Very nicely done from Grinch here. I thought he would have gone for Cetra for all 4 games, but I guess Arkan in the last game is a very wise choice here, able to spell kite Oxyotto there. Yeah, and the Necropolis Knights did some really good job as well. Normally you see them underperform, but in Grinch's hands, seems like they have managed to get they get to shine for once. Sphinx of Uskev though, getting nuked by those, even with the fire resistance, still getting nuked reasonably well roasted pretty much by the Umbral Tide, and Chosen of the Gods getting hunted. So yeah, the Umbral Tide definitely did some good work, but unfortunately the Colossodon Hunters could have used better targeting priority, should have gone for the Chosen of the Gods first for sure, to stay alive a little longer, and maybe if the Colossodon Hunters stayed alive longer, they could have changed the battle for a bit, as they could have put more pressure onto the Halberd Necropolis Knights or onto the enemy Lord or whatever, right? So yeah. As always, Skink Skirmishers, very cost efficient blowpipe skirmishing infantry. And yeah, Skink Wars didn't really do much, losing out to skeletons unfortunately. And well, they could have won one-on-one against skeletons, I think, but there's just too many skeletons, I think. And yeah, Oxyotto didn't even earn back his worth. He is skirmishing law is just too weak now, which is why you don't really see them much, unfortunately. Yeah, that is it for today's battle. I hope you all enjoy the tournament action on a weekend like this. I hopefully will be back next week with maybe a meme format tournament. And yeah, thank you for joining. Congratulations to Grinch for winning the tournament. Very nicely done with the Tomb Kings army, a very strong faction indeed. And yeah, I hope you all had fun today, either playing in the tourney or just watching the stream. Whichever side you are. Yeah, and I hope you all had a good rest of the weekend. Yep, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Tactical Lich, signing out.